See that this extends across the river into portions of Henderson County as well. There's the Henderson-Warren County line, and it looks like this warning goes right across the Mississippi into, say, central Henderson County. So you are under severe thunderstorm warning too. And the thing about these storms, and Kyle was alluding to the potential strength that these will tap into, kind of right here, Mercer County into Henry County and northern Knox County. That's where on our weather charts that you would never see on the air, that's where our significant tornado parameters were the highest. So it doesn't really surprise us that any of these storms are working their way through these areas. And even back a little farther to the west, there will be storms that kind of jump over Interstate 80 and jump over the warm front that these storms are very near to, if not right on, and pose a hail threat for the northern portions of the TV6 viewing area. So again, as we back out a little bit, you can see the formation here, more warnings back toward Ottumwa, and another round of storms to come. So right now, we're concentrating on what could be the most dangerous storms here in the next hour, just south and or southeast of the Metro Quad cities. And as we watch these starting to form, now we've got between Ottumwa and Interstate 80, west of Iowa City toward Williamsburg, and around 380, just north of Cedar Rapids as it shoots off toward Waterloo. Now we're getting this line to form, and these are going to be the ones that will be well north of the warm front, but still what we call elevated with a layer of cold air, and you felt it if you're north of the Quad Cities all day long. Those would be significant hail producing storms if they continue to mature and move through the northern portion of the area, which I will remind you is now under severe thunderstorm watch until midnight. So we've got a lot to keep track of here over the next few hours, and you can see pretty much right where we've been talking about where we have the highest risk not only of severe weather, a level 4 today, but a level 3 risk for tornadoes, and we haven't gotten any tornado reports yet. This is the area where those are forming right now. Kyle?
Yeah, so very concerning situation. You probably just saw this box change here. If we can go to max 2 right now, and if we have to flip over to that, that's fine. But I want to show you what's happening here. That box just updated. We're now destructive tagged because we've now got I think that's baseball sized hail, a tennis ball sized hail, at 2.75 inches. But you don't need me to tell you, this is a very dangerous situation.
And a new warning.
A new warning there for Bureau County. We'll get to that in a minute. So again, folks, this is what we thought would happen. It's evolving very fast. It's going to be something where we have to kind of keep an eye one storm at a time here and go through the line. But right now, most significant is what's going to be, it looks like it is going to go south of Aledo. So for Mike Ortiz is listening to us in Aledo. The worst of this is going to go to his south, so that's good news. He's not going to be in the hail core, but right there, this is going to be Keithsburg. You're about to get into some baseball-sized hail. You need to move indoors right now and take shelter immediately. This is a very dangerous situation. Again, that's marked destructive, but also marked tornado possible because there is broad rotation with that. And folks, I'm telling you, this is in an area that is extremely favored for tornadic activity. That is my concern most. And I'm seeing, yeah, look at here. This is might be a hail spike that we're seeing, but we're starting to get that convergence. This is the wind velocity. This shows which way the wind is moving within the storm, and you can see those greens starting to really spike up there. Again, that might be, sometimes when we get these returns like that, it could be because that radar beam is reflecting some of that large hail, but this is showing a sign of tightening up. And I believe we have a tornado developing here, or a circulation, I should say at least. And so right now is your time. This is your first alert in southern Mercer County, northern Warren County, northern Henderson County, Knox County, Henry County, Illinois, all those areas. You definitely need to take this very seriously. And we'll go back, Eric, to that new warning here issued for Bureau County and Henry County. And look at this, marked tornado possible. This does just to the west of Princeton, but this storm here too, showing a little bit of characteristic of rotation. So we'll be watching that here as this continues to move right into this area where that warm front is right now. So.
Yeah, look at how fast these developed. I'll see if I can move this a little bit. I can't right now, but it's okay. We've got these all on the screen. Tornado possible with this warning. Again, as Kyle was just pointing out, this one for Henry County, Illinois into Bureau County, Illinois. But look at how fast these are developing. And not only that, but they're producing these hail cores. And again, when we get that dark blue there, we could be talking about tennis ball size hail with that one. Crossing the Mississippi right now into northern Henderson County, southwest of Aledo. So this will translate into southern Mercer County, and it might just nick that upper northwest portion of Warren County there. There's Roseville just off the screen on the bottom to give you an idea. and even back toward Des Moines County. This storm here, again, this was producing a hail core pretty much as soon as they warned on it. Right now, a standard severe thunderstorm warning, I should say. We don't have any tornado warnings per se, but we have tornadoes possible in both of these warnings that you're seeing right here for Henry and Bureau County. And again, that rotation that Kyle was talking about, kind of married to the hail core right there, probably just a little bit west of it. And then with this storm, a huge hail core there, again, just crossing the Mississippi. So if you are ahead of this storm, if you're getting some torrential rainfall right now, even maybe some smaller hail ahead of it, unfortunately there's lightning, so you need to get inside. If you're thinking, well, maybe this is my chance to pull the car in, might just be too late because we've got the lightning strikes, makes it dangerous to be outside. You need to be inside as the storms pass. And if there's any of you who are, say, south of the Quad Cities looking at this storm approaching, now is the time, or along I-80 or north of it toward Bureau and northern Henry County, now is the time to bring those things inside that you don't want to have inundated by potentially very large hail, tennis ball size at this point in some of those storms. Kyle?
Yeah, if you're in Keithsburg, you need to be in shelter right now. Look at this hail core. Here's the town of Keithsburg, but I want to let you know that these hail cores that we pick up here on the hail zone product, it could be displaced a little bit. You're probably seeing some hail. If you live in Keithsburg, you're probably hearing that right now. You need to be in your shelters right now because this is destructive hail. Again, this is a destructive tag storm. So Keithsburg, this is heading off to the northeast. I'll get a storm motion on this. It's moving very fast, though, I can tell you, and that's going to be the thing. Once you go under a warning tonight, you want to take shelter quickly because these are moving at a fairly fast clip here, moving east at 45. So knowing that, let's get a path on this. We know where that we know where this thing is at. We know where the updraft is, and that's where the tornado potential would be as well. So we're going to go kind of east-northeast here, kind of give a broad view, but give you some times if you live in Sunbeam, Viola, 637, North Henderson at 643. That's when you could expect this significant storm with destructive hail and some rotation as well. I'm going to go back to the rotation product as well because continuing to watch that. But destructive tagged, yeah, look at that tightening up right there. So we just talked about this. You see these greens starting to get into those reds. That is a coupling of the winds. Tornadoes spin counterclockwise. You can see this is wind moving. Radar's up here. Wind's starting to move towards the radar. Wind's moving away. They're starting to speed up. We've got a developing circulation. I think it's in no time here. It'll be just a matter of time when we see a tornado warning issued with this because we know that the environment there is such where this is a very favored environment for tornadic activity. So southeast of Keithsburg, not only large destructive hail, but also the potential of a developing circulation. Real quick, Eric, before we go back to you, this storm here in Bureau County and actually Knox County, look at that development right there. Just along 34, that's where that warm front is, starting to maybe see a little rotation with a quick developing cell just south of that main one that's warned for that severe thunderstorm warning.
Yeah, just southwest of Galva. That has spun up quite quickly, and that was the problem with these. Right along the warm front, we were talking about that. They'll pick up a little added rotation, but again, let's get back to this very destructive hail here in now getting into southwestern Mercer County. There's Aledo, there's Viola, there's Highway 67, 135 right there. So if you are straddling in your property the county line of Mercer and Henderson County, and even over toward northwestern, let's say, Warren County, you need to be inside. You need to be taking shelter. Stay away from windows because, again, we could be getting some very destructive hail here. Just another sign that we have updrafts along this whole line, and as these storms get toward that warm front, which stayed south of the Quad Cities and just south of I-80 today, they'll tap into a little bit of rotation, and that's why these are tornado possible storm warnings with the heavy rain, the lightning, and of course that hail threat as we see it. And back out, more severe thunderstorm warnings that we've been talking about again here for Henry County into Bureau County, and then down south now tornado possible with this storm warning that includes a lot of hail there just north of Burlington, right along 61. So if you're up toward Minneapolis, you're getting this storm heading your way, actually a little farther north though. But again, tornado possible with that severe thunderstorm. I believe this one goes till 7 o'clock, the one that we have affecting Bureau County, and both these others go till 6:45. So we still have a long way to go with these storms, and we've got more that are forming back to the far west. And as you can see, we've already got warnings just adjacent to the TV6 viewing area in Henry County. And these storms, again, they are latching onto a lot of energy. They're getting very expansive very very quickly, and with those colors, they're destructive, potentially destructive storms, tornado possible storms, and we're already seeing the hail quickly grow to damaging size, maybe in some cases catastrophic if you're getting tennis ball size hail or larger. And that's just something that we're going to continue to track with these storms south of Interstate 80. But again, if you're north of Interstate 80, you're not completely out of the woods. We do have for our northern counties that severe thunderstorm watch until midnight, and that's because any of the storms that even get farther away from some of the better rotational dynamics along that warm front, they will still be what we call elevated. They'll tap into some cold air, and those also could form some very large hail as we go through the evening. I'm going to back this up a little bit. There is that severe thunderstorm watch that I was talking about. That's till midnight, and in our southern counties, it's a tornado watch that goes until 11 p.m. Essentially every county that you see there that isn't under the severe thunderstorm watch. So there we have watches covering the whole area, and now warnings from portions of west central Illinois down towards southeastern Iowa.
Just want to take a look at a couple things here. First off, do we have Mike Ortiz's live shot there in Aledo? If we do, let's take that, maybe do a double box with Max 2 and show cut off a couple things, because he did say that the sirens were sounding in Aledo. Once we get to that destructive tag, that's pretty common to hear because you want to take shelter. You want to be inside. I don't know if we have audio, if he's inside right now, but yeah, you can see very dark clouds to the south. Let's jump back out here, and I want to show a couple things happening because there's something new developing just outside of Kewanee. Very fast evolving situation here. So there's Mike's shot there. He's at the fire station in Aledo looking out. But oh wow, let's come back out here. Look at this. This is a quick, again, this is how it happens. We're now tagged in Bureau Henry County, considerable damage threat, tornado possible. Look at that, just south of Neponset there. This is an area, this is going to have to be watched very closely, but we have hail. I bet you we're probably getting the same thing here, at least golf ball sized hail, if not higher. Yeah, golf ball sized hail there. With that, I wouldn't be surprised if it's even a little bit stronger. But let's take a look. Oh yeah, we've got a developing circulation there too. Again, not anything where it's okay, where we need to get a tornado warning out, but I would say that is an area too. We were watching this on some of the models. And again, this stretch right along that front, which is where this is at, and its movement looks like it is planted on that front. This could take it right up into Princeton. So Princeton, this is your first alert, because I'm going to tell you here, this is not looking good. Might go into the southern part of Bureau County, but nonetheless, circulation developing here near Neponset, just south of Neponset towards the Osceola area. Also, very large hail up to the size of golf balls. We actually need to get a new warning out for that, because that's kind of outside the other warning here. But I want to take a look also to show you that the lightning is really starting to uptick as well, which shows that we've got some pretty strong, pretty strengthening cells here with the lightning, of course, being as such. But yeah, wow, these are impressive. We come back out here, I'm going to show kind of what we're watching. So Bureau County, heads up, you're under that severe thunderstorm warning, but I'm very concerned about that. That is definitely starting to form into a hook echo. It's a very, very robust storm here. So again, if you're near the Neponset area, this is going to impact areas like Wyanett, Tisqua, maybe goes north as Princeton, but definitely Tisqua, Princeton, over towards Bureau Junction, Hennepin, Depew, even over towards Spring Valley. Heads up, because this is heading right towards you. Again, golf ball, at least golf ball sized hail. I'll put hail tracker back on there, and it was developing very fast. And yeah, you can see those dark colors there. That is the hail core. That's also where that updraft is, where we could get some spin going on. So continuing to watch that, but we'll go back here to this cell. This cell is kind of splitting a little bit and starting to strengthen here in southern Mercer County. So we're going to watch that very closely, Eric, as that thing continues to strengthen. So several storms that we're watching here, folks. Again, real quick, I want to show you kind of the broad view. We've got this whole area along this warm front that has got severe thunderstorm warnings. A lot of them tagged destructive or considerable damage threat. We're seeing up to with this one in particular here into Mercer County, northern Warren, northern Henderson County, we're seeing maybe up to the size of tennis ball sized hail with that. All these storms have that potential and also have that potential to circulate as well. We'll be watching here closely over the next couple minutes as these continue to evolve and build.
Yeah, these severe thunderstorm warnings that we have behind us here tagged either considerable damage or destructive. So again, just think of these as tornado warnings. You need to be inside as these storms pass. And there's that hail core that's just outside of that current warning that's likely heading right toward Princeton. A lot of lightning starting even on the leading edge of that storm. And then we've got our warned storm actually with Kewanee. Maybe seeing this hail drop in size a little bit, but these tend to recirculate. And then we go a little bit farther west and you see all the hail that's involved with our considerable damage, perhaps tagged severe thunderstorm warning here just south of Aledo into southern Mercer County. Kind of two hail cores now splitting apart there, but that one that's kind of right on the triple point there between Henderson, Warren, and southern Mercer County, that is likely some tennis ball size hail when we're looking at those blues starting to get dark like that. Even a little hail on the, well, right on 67 and to the east in southwest, or you should say southeast Mercer County, and torrential rainfall here. These are fairly progressive thunderstorms, but at the amount of rain that we're seeing, I mean the expansive size of these storms, the rain they're putting down certainly could be flooding some low-lying areas. So I wouldn't be surprised to see or hear some reports of some localized flooding. Not only that, but we're probably generating some 60+ mile-per-hour winds with these storms. And again, there are even more back off to the west that will be developing and moving through the area. So right now, if you're south of I-80 in Illinois, even right toward the Metro Quad Cities now, we're getting a little branch of this storm coming our way. So this will cross through the metro. There you can see it. We're likely getting some rain from that, but at least with the strength of this storm south of Aledo, it might be cutting off some of the dynamics from this one. However, you can see a little bit of a gray spot right there. That would be a hail core trying to form. So there could be an updraft with that storm too as that heads through the Metro Quad Cities here within the next few minutes. It's just over Milan and the I-80 bridge over, or 280 bridge over the Mississippi River right now. So it's getting probably just south of Enchanted Island, probably right there already. Enchanted Island and Credit Island about to get run over by that storm. So if we go to Skycam, take a look at our sky view shot from the Metro Quad Cities, and if we can put that up, I'm sure we can see, the sky's getting a little chaotic as that next storm is about to move in.
Okay, we just this is a very fast evolving situation. I just want to keep reiterating that. But here we go. We got a new warning. Let's come out here, break it down for you. We got a new warning for Bureau County. We were talking about that storm in the that was approaching kind of the southern half of Bureau County. That does have its eyes set on Princeton. That's now warned, severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag and considerable damage threat because we could see golf ball sized hail with this. In fact, it does look like that hail core might be expanding a little bit. We have a cell here in the southern tier of Rock Island County, not warned, but it is something that's going to have to be watched for hail. More of a hail concern there, but we're watching that very closely. 67 from Coal Valley down to Coal Valley area here down to Preemption, and along 67 there going into Rock Island might impact Moline as well. No warning for that, but we have a new warning here that now is in place for parts of Henry and Mercer County. Tornado possible, considerable damage threat. So really all these threats are essentially the same. We have the threat for, again, golf ball to baseball sized hail and circulations pretty much with every updraft. So where you see those hail cores, we're watching that rotation. I'm going to take a look here real quick because we've got several pockets. Wow, I mean, this is just pretty impressive here. We got one right here, southwest of Aledo, trying to do something there. Hasn't had the best chance of getting going, but also over here, southwest of Kewanee, starting to notice a little bit of a couplet there. And of course, that one we're watching south of the Neponset area. Broad rotation, but again, something that we're keeping a very close eye on. All these are warned. Essentially, the whole extent of this warm front on the Illinois side has got warnings. And again, we'll watch that storm here as it approaches the metro. But just to the northeast of Aquaka, that might be something there that we have to watch closely. But again, a very favored environment here with any of these storms that we could get some tornadic activity. That's why we're concerned. But on top of that, again, that hail is a big concern as well.
Okay, let's widen out. We'll have Teresa running Max 1 for us right now, and we'll widen out to see, let's go to the northern half of the TV6 viewing area, because you can see we've got a little bit of development up there now. We've got some isolated thunderstorms starting to develop in Jackson County and Joe Davis County. Nothing more than rain and maybe a little gust of wind here with these, but as we back up to the west a little bit, you can see that we've got another line forming. We were talking about this a little bit earlier from the Iowa City area back down to the south and west toward probably probably Kelowna, and then off toward Anamosa and up to the north and east. That is a line that will move into some more favorable dynamics, perhaps for some hail. That's why, again, as I was mentioning last time you saw me, that we have that severe thunderstorm watch for the northern half of the QCA. Now, Teresa, what I'm going to have you do is zoom into Bureau County and put on the query so we can work down this line and give everybody a look at the times for these warnings. First of all, this does include Princeton, this Bureau County severe thunderstorm warning, winds up to 60 miles per hour, but because of this hail core right here, considerable damage is possible, and with the updraft, a tornado is possible as well. So when the National Weather Service puts these tags on these storms, tornado possible, consider it as a tornado warning. Get into your safe place now. Know where the pets and the kids are and get them down into the basement. Remember, you're looking for the centrally located lowest part of the house. Get as many walls between you and the storm as possible, especially when we're spitting out all these potentially large hailstones. Now, if we back to the west a little bit and get into our next warning, this includes Kewanee, Bishop Hill, Galva. This is a considerable damage possible, tornado possible, severe thunderstorm warning. And again, look at that hail core just outside of Bishop Hill, heading right toward Kewanee. There's Highway 34 and a little north of Galva there right now. But again, that's heading right toward Kewanee. So if you're in Kewanee or in that path, you need to be taking shelter now. This warning goes till 7 o'clock. All right, let's back to the next one. And we have this, we're going to skip over one here, but that's it's okay because it probably won't see it. But we do have portions of Henry County and then portions of Warren County in that severe thunderstorm warning, and Mercer County. And you did see that that one goes for about the next 45 minutes. I kind of missed that. But again, here we go. South of Viola and heading toward Orion. There's Orion right there. You can see that hail core coming through portions of Mercer County, about to move into Henry County. And another hail core as we go a little farther to the west. That one right on top of 94. And a dark blue right there does indicate the potential for some very large hail. We'll get to Kyle in a second. We're going to complete this line, though, as we're backing off to the west. Again, tornado possible, updrafts with these storms. And then as we go to another severe thunderstorm warning here, this includes Des Moines, Henderson, Louisa, and Mercer County till 6:45, Gladstone, Oquawka, Burlington, Biggsville. Again, tornado possible, destructive with that potential for hail, although right now that hail core seems to be dropping off a little bit. But again, these tend to cycle, so that could be a little bit stronger hail by the time it crosses the Mississippi. And a little farther west, more storms forming outside of Henry County, Iowa, ready to move into the TV6 viewing area. Kyle? Okay, we've got one of our storm spotters. If we come back out here, please, I would like to show this. He's in the Bishop Hill area, and I just to let our booth know, I sent that picture into Teams. We need to get this up. There is a wall cloud, a rotating wall cloud. He's on it, and it's right here. Here's Bishop Hill, Galva, moving over Galva. It's quickly evolving. This is a circulation. We've got a developing circulation, developing rotation. This is going to be impacting Kewanee. If you're in the Kewanee area, you need to take your tornado precautions right now. This is in a very favored area, so I'm not surprised to see this, but and let me know whenever we get that picture in. Let's get that on, and we will show it. We're working on that. Perfect. Thank you, guys. But right now, Kewanee, you need to take shelter now. Also up towards Neponset, the Route 34 corridor, eventually into Bureau County. I would imagine here momentarily we're going to see this turn red for a tornado warning, and this is going to take it right up again, this Route 34 corridor here. And the environment is such, I mean, we're in the 80s. Well into the 80s to the south, and this is that area that's got that pool of real high humidity, so these storms really could keep going. But we do have this circulation I'm very concerned about, and looking at that visual too that I saw that we will show here momentarily, it shows that there is a lowering developing, and Parker, who is on this storm, is noticing the rotation as well. So this is a concerning situation. Again, if you're in Kewanee in southwestern Bureau County, I'm going to put a path on this and give you kind of a quick time of arrival here as this continues to head off to the northeast. So here's the communities in the path of this. Kewanee, 636 roughly. Again, always give yourself about 5 extra minutes with these. 644 Osceola, Langley at 656. We're in Tiscoa about 7 o'clock, in Princeton just after 7. So again, we're noticing circulation not only on radar, but also we're getting some ground truth to that as well. This is very concerning. So again, looks like it's just east of Galva right now, heading right towards Kewanee.
again, if you're in Kewanee, I go ahead and take your tornado precautions right now. Also continue with that evolving circulation here southwest of Princeton. Also, we were getting reports that there could possibly, this is unconfirmed, but there may have been a funnel cloud near the Oquawka area as well. So we're watching that, and that is northwest of Monmouth. There is actually probably some significant circulation there that we're watching develop at least. But wow, we've got just little circulations here all throughout this line. So dangerous situation continues to unfold, but right now I'd say just because we've got spotters on this, and we can see that there is a wall cloud.
And there's your tornado warning.
There's the tornado warning as we've been talking about here, folks. So there you go. We'll get the latest on that and get you the information on that. So again, you got
Bureau
that
in
first
Henry
alert.
County till 7:15.
Yes, and it is radar indicated at this time. But again, also to note here is that hail size, golf ball sized hail. So right now, this does not get quite to Princeton, but it is Neponset up towards the Langley area. It does include parts of just up to the I-80 corridor there too. Kewanee, you are now in this. This is a tornado warning. You need to take your immediate tornado precautions. If you live in, again, the southeastern part of Henry County, also into Bureau County, we're watching it very closely here. We'll keep an eye on it. We do have a spotter on this storm, and we'll get those pictures up hopefully here very soon.
And again, what we talk about when we're talking about these hail cores and showing you these hail cores, those are because of the updrafts, and you need an updraft to have a tornado. So that's what we're watching along this whole line. No surprise because of the dynamics with these storms today. We knew that there would be updrafts with these storms along the front, which a lot of these are tagging onto. So we've got another hail core right there southwest of Princeton. Again, a reminder, if you are in Princeton, now although the tornado warning that was issued till 7:15 ends right there, you're still in the path of not only the tornadic storm, if it maintains, but you're also already getting quite inundating rain. You're about to get a lot more lightning and thunder, and you're about to get at least some small hail as that hail core works its way right toward Princeton proper. And again, as we move down that line, the largest hail core, or the core that's producing potentially the largest hail right now, is just outside of Kewanee. So if you are in Kewanee, you need to be in your shelter, because things are going to get pretty bad in terms of not only hail, but this is where we also have that rotation, which is why we have the tornado warning. So you need to be in your shelter either way. Take shelter now. There's Galva just to the south of the hail core, but pretty close to the spin. As a matter of fact, could you hit SRV for me on this? It's on the right side of the palette there, Teresa. There you go. Yeah, so there again, this is our circulation now. It's between Kewanee and Galva. Again, you're looking at these greens and these reds. What does that mean? Well, we have green pointing air's moving toward the radar site in the Quad Cities. Where we have red, it's moving away. So you can figure that right there is some rotation, and that's exactly why this tornado warning is out. It's out till 7:15. So if you are in anywhere close to this warning, and that would be southern Henry County over into Bureau County, you need to be taking shelter now, because there is at least a rotation in these clouds. We'd like to get some confirmation at some point if there was a spin. We do have a wall cloud. Do you have any info from the spotters?
I'm going to show you this here. I just put it in our chat to the booth. Let's get this on the air, please, ASAP, because we do have a pretty, Eric, I'll show it to you here, and I'll show you exactly where this is at. So you can see that it is just southwest of Kewanee here.
Oh yeah,
it is well-developed circulation. This is a developing tornado right now. What we've got happening here, just looking at this, and once we can get that on the air, it is in the Teams chat. I will get that, we'll get that sent over to you. So please get that on. Thank you. And once we'll show you here kind of what this looks like. And it is an evolving tornado. And again, it's in such an environment where we've got that. But right here, just south of Kewanee. Let's get into street level here and show you, because this is...
Actually, come back to one. You can really, it just brightened up. If we can come over here to me.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we can let you send that over. But look at how, right where you see 34 there, the sign for 34 before it cuts up into Kewanee, right at the notch there, boy, if you are at the part of Highway 34, or anywhere near there, especially north of that turn, look at how we're getting a much brighter red next to that pretty bright green. That does indicate not only what I just saw, a very well-developed wall cloud, but a tornado could pop from that at any time, and that continues to move to the northeast at about 40 to 45 miles per hour. So again, let me orient you. Here's Galva, and you go down 34. It's going to turn to the north, and that's right where we have our wall cloud. We have the photo.
Yeah, and you can see it right there. Yeah. Look at that. So that what we have there is that well-defined lowering, that's a circulation, that's an area, that's the updraft, and that's where that tornado is going to form. It looks like we are just in the precursor. Wow, velocity just spiked here pretty incredibly. So yeah, that's what we're looking at here, folks. We take that. I want to come back out here because I think there's a little community down here in this. It's near Wethersfield right now. This is a strong circulation. Here's Route 34. This is Route 34. This is Kewanee, Wethersfield area, North 300th Avenue. This is Route 34 again. Route 34 curves down here to the south and heads towards Galva. It is right now right over top of that curved area, and it is going to go into the southeastern portion of Kewanee. If you're in Kewanee,
did you see the last frame?
I did.
It made an eastward move, so that could be.
It's planted on that warm front, and
yeah,
that's
could
not
be,
good. Yeah.
You know, and again, big view. That's what we're looking at right down here. But again, it made a bit of an due east turn, so that could indicate some strengthening as it rolls its way up into the southwest corner of Bureau County, southeast corner there of Henry County, Illinois, and there's Kewanee. And again, what we're showing you is that little stretch of Highway 34.
Go to Skyview. I think we have hail
we've
here
got
at the
hail.
station. Yep.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, let's go to Skyview right now. We've got I don't know what. Yeah. Let's get a.
You got the back door there.
And I'm going to take it.
Oh, true.
Okay, so yeah, here in the metro, there's no warning, but we've got large hail.
Can we show that, T?
Yeah, if you could
on radar.
look at that. But I'm going to, we've got a lot going on here, and I know we're kind of getting hung up on this tornado warning. We still have severe thunderstorm warnings in southern Mercer County. So you can see it there on Skyview. Let's come back out here because there's something else I need to mention here too. Baseball-sized hail is now in the Kewanee. Folks, this is a very dangerous situation in the Kewanee area. Can we come back out here to the weather band, please? And I want to show this right now, a hail core. A baseball-sized hail is heading into Kewanee on top of that circulation and possible tornado here. If you are in Kewanee, this is going to head, like you said, Eric, I think this is sort of planted on that warm front. Not good. This is going to head into kind of an northeasterly fashion here. This does take it into Princeton about 7 o'clock or just after. And again, we hear, what's the hail size here at the station?
Or so, maybe a little bit bigger.
Pea-sized hail.
Really,
So,
that's making a lot of noise for such small hail.
and,
Okay,
there
thank
he
you.
is showing
We'll,
it.
take
That's okay.
me on camera
Eric
here.
will show it here.
Okay. Okay, here's my hand for reference. Yeah, it's about the size of my fingertip. If you're getting it, and we just talked about this, that storm that was branching to the north over the metro had a little hail core, and indeed we're getting hail now. But we were worried more about what's going on near Kewanee right now, and there you can see, talk about hail, larger hail likely, but as Kyle has been pointing out, pictures from our spotter does show that we've got some rotation there with the wall cloud that's been developed there, and we now have a new warning. Okay, Mo's got hail video. I'll let you do your thing. And here's hail video from Mo in Aledo. And it looks like it's about the same that we've got here. Actually, that looks more like a pea-sized hail that we have in the metro, too. He's in Aledo, so kind of hard to see. But either way, we have had a line of storms form, if you're just joining us. And let's see, 6:38 this evening. We've had a line of storms forming since just before 6 o'clock. They've grown quickly, and not only that, but they do have updrafts as they're kind of attached to that warm front. We've been talking about that warm front for a few days, as fickle as it would be. Where would it lie out? It's south of I-80, south of the Metro Quad cities, but the storms that are forming along it are taking advantage of the updrafts, and that's why not only are we getting all these hail cores that you see in blue, but all these severe thunderstorm warnings have tornado possible, and we do have tornado warning for Bureau and Henry County. Kyle, back to you.
Yeah, new tornado warning here for Henry County, Iowa. This is a storm that's developed here. We've got a pretty significant hail core out to the west in the Fairfield, Iowa. This does include Mount Pleasant. Mount Pleasant all the way north here towards the Wayland area, the Route 218 corridor. You're now under a tornado warning. So really at this point we have what is kind of evolving into somewhat of an outbreak of severe weather here. We've got lots of warnings. We're going to be watching that closely. You do have some time. You got plenty of time to take shelter. And again, that's just one of several. Let's go to Kate Kilpatich right now. She's actually live in Princeton, Illinois, where they're now tornado warning is closing in on them. Kate, what do you see there?
Yeah, Kyle, we've been out here all afternoon and we're actually sheltering in place right now at the Princeton Fire Department. So as I'm standing here right now, we've heard kind of rain. That rain has since picked up, and now I believe that I can hear hail on the roof of the Princeton Fire Department. So all of this is, of course, developing very quickly, but that's just what I can tell you from sheltering in place here right now at the Princeton Fire Department. Also, we've seen some lightning. All of that is happening as well right now, but yeah, definitely sounds like some hail that's on the roof right now, and mixed with rain and lightning. So again, we're sheltering in place, but that is the current situation here right now.
All right,
in
great.
Princeton.
Kate, thank you so much. We appreciate that. And just to your south here towards Tiscoa, between Tiscoa and Princeton, broad rotation, not really well defined, but we continue to watch that rotation out in Kewanee. Again, I think the bigger threat, like she alluded to, they have hail. Look at that hail core building there just southwest of Princeton. That might be a little bit more further into Princeton now.
Yeah,
Eric.
and it did come up
But it did, yeah,
level.
it's increasing. So it's definitely a strengthening deal there. Yeah.
All right, let's widen out again, Teresa, and we'll show you what we've got to deal with. Again, this line of thunderstorms here, this is pretty much find the warm front, there it is. Although when we get a little farther to the west, we'll be looking for that transition to a cold front a little bit later this evening. But right now, these storms, all of them, have not only torrential rain and pretty good amounts of lightning, but also these hail cores and blue updrafts, which means these thunderstorm warnings have tornado possible tags, and we do have 2 tornado warnings, one that includes Mount Pleasant in Henry County, Iowa, although not much of that storm is in your area yet. Northern side of the county's got some rain and a little hail, but the strongest part of the storm with rotation still back there toward Libertyville. And of course, then our tornado warning that includes parts of Henry County and Bureau County, Illinois. Closer look at what's coming into Henry County, Iowa. Again, to the north, you do have some heavy rain, some torrential rainfall and lightning, and a little bit of hail, but I'm sure around this hail core here near Fairfield, I mean right on top of Fairfield, that's where the rotation is that has prompted this to be a tornado warning as opposed to a severe thunderstorm warning. And this one goes till 7:45 for our friends in Henry County. There you see the potential hail size, about 1 3/4 of an inch in diameter. Just one of many storms we're tracking. Let's see if we can go full view of the viewing area, T, and we'll show everybody that now we have a severe thunderstorm warning through Dubuque County, just outside of the viewing area, just north of Jackson County, just outside of Joe Davis County. But this severe thunderstorm warning till 7:30. And these storms going right up 151, so they'll likely shoot very close to not only northern Jackson County, but cross the river and get toward Galena in a little bit of time here, probably 15 to 30 minutes as those roll on through. We'll keep an eye on these to see if they develop any hail cores. Right now, it's just some heavy rain and probably some strong winds. But now a new severe thunderstorm warning just north of the Metro T. Let's zoom in on that one. And there we go. This does include the Metro Quad Cities, Davenport side, I should say, in Bettendorf, because of the hail that we just received. So you're going to get some torrential downforce, probably some blinding rain as you head up toward McCausland, LeClaire, Princeton, over toward Port Byron, and into not only Scott County, but portions of Clinton County, from Lowmore and Follett up to Clinton, and then across into portions of Whiteside County and northern Rock Island County, Illinois, as this one continues to move just along and north of Interstate 88 once you get past Joslin up toward Erie and Prophetstown. So that's going to be just north of you folks in Erie and Prophetstown. But again, new severe thunderstorm warning. That will go till 7:15, and hail size expected to be 1 inch. We can tell you here at the station that that's the storm that crossed over us. We had marble-size hail just not too long ago. Kyle?
Okay, I want to come out here because I just picked this up here in Bureau County. We've got a very notable circulation developing here near Tiscoa. If you're in Tiscoa, you need to take your tornado precautions right now. You can see that strengthening, those darker greens there, or lighter greens, I should say, and you got that gray starting to kind of paint in there. And we are pretty far away from the radar site. And so when we see this, this is indication that we've got something cooking here. And we also have a spotter out in this area who's noticing circulation as well. We need to get that information to the Weather Service. But I'm also noticing up here, we've got, several interesting features here. Something just northwest of Princeton there too. Again, you're in a severe thunderstorm warning that's tagged tornado possible, and a tornado warning just off to your southwest. Let's go to that because we still have a notable circulation here near Kewanee.
Wow.
Here's Kewanee. You got that tightening circulation there. You got winds moving towards the radar site up in the Quad Cities here at the Mount Joy Airport. Winds moving away just to the northern side of Kewanee there is where we're seeing that. So,
Yeah, Neponset, Langley take shelter
Yes.
now. And hey, Kyle, I just want to let you know we had quarter-size hail reported in Buffalo, Iowa,
Okay.
not too long ago.
yeah, so we'll, a lot of hail reports, and we appreciate all the reports. And if you've got something to pass along too, please do so. You can go to our website and send it through our website. Also email us at news@kwqc.com. We really appreciate your reports, but do so safely. And again, another thing to note too is our coverage is streaming on all of our platforms. We are on, again, on Facebook Live, we're on YouTube, we're on streaming, we are on TV as well, of course. So you got a lot of ways to get stay with us. And I know meteorologist Kevin Phelps and Kyle Keel are also answering any questions in those Facebook Lives and on YouTube. So keep an eye on that. But certainly a tightening circulation once again near Kewanee. And I will mention we got Parker is out there, one of our spotters, and he is tracking this. Yeah, look at that. Just update there. Continues and probably starting to tighten up even more as this continues to move off to the northeast, east-northeast. And here's something I'm noting, Eric, is this is starting to slow down a little bit. Means that I bet you that is on that warm front.
Yeah, right on the warm
Right on the
front.
warm front. Neponset. If you're in Neponset, it's heading right towards you, essentially up 34. You need to take your tornado precautions right now. Very clear, though, when you look at this and you look at the wind velocity, it's very evident where that circulation is and where we have a developing tornado. I would assume here momentarily, if this continues to strengthen, we're probably going to be at a point where we do get some tornado reports here, but we've got spotters there. We've got video I put in as well. Brady, if you can let me know if we can get that up. You got it up. Let's take a look at this. And it shows, Eric, it's showing that wall cloud that he was on. You can see it kind of looks like a little bit of a beam of that, which means that it's trying to pull in some moisture and trying to pull in some of that warm air to feed it. It's definitely broad, but I believe we are tightening that circulation is tightening up, and it looks like we have a developing, possibly developing tornado there. So something we're going to watch very closely.
Yeah.
And again, we've got spotters on that right now.
Airport right in the foreground there. I'm wondering if that's the Kewanee Airport.
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah, but there's the chaotic sky we're dealing with right now. And as we take a wow,
Oh, wow, look
that.
at Princeton.
Yeah,
Oh, gosh.
If you're in Princeton, you're probably already getting the hail, but this is going to be large
Baseball.
hail.
That's baseball-sized hail right now,
we
heading
just
towards
hit
Princeton.
purple. Yeah, we hit this purple right
Indestructible.
there, and so that's going to be baseball-sized hail potentially going right toward Princeton proper. So if you are there, you're probably already getting it if this radar sweep is a little bit behind. But take shelter now if you're anywhere near Princeton, or especially up Highway 34 north and east of Princeton. Let's say northeast. North, northeast, and east of Princeton. Anywhere in that quadrant, you need to take shelter now. Stay away from windows because that is some extremely large hail. I think that's the first time we've hit that color this afternoon.
It is. And not only that, look at this. We're developing a circulation in that same area right over top of Princeton. If you're in Princeton, you need to take your tornado precautions right now.
Teresa, let's go to
there's not a tornado warning with this, but you can see, look at this. We got the greens wrapping around here, the reds. It's right over top of town. Might be broad, and we've got that hail core also, again, with at this point, look at that update. We've got two circulations developing. Again, here's Route 34, Route 6 heading west towards Wyanett. We've got circulation here right along Route 6. They're heading right into town. So if you're on the western sides of Princeton, you need to take your anywhere in Princeton at this point with the destructive potential with that hail up to the size of baseballs. You need to take shelter now, but I'm really concerned about that rotation. West, going to be towards the Lover's Lane area, out west towards Wyanett, heading right into town, the fairgrounds area, right into town here, and then eventually off into the center of town, even some broad rotation up northwest of town on Backbone Road, but very concerning there. Again, you're not under a tornado warning, but you don't need to be under a tornado warning to take shelter. So take this very seriously. I want to go back. That hail core is very impressive. Kate's and let's do that. Actually, Kate Kopatich is in Princeton. I'm very interested to hear, Kate, what are you guys seeing there right now as you're at the fire station in Princeton as this is approaching?
Yeah, Kyle, we are inside the Princeton fire station, sheltering right now. We do have some windows, though. We're not super close to them, but we can see that it is a lot of rain coming down out there. I can hear hail hitting the rooftop here. You can hear that heavy rain. You can see the lightning. So all of this, again, is really, it seems like you just said, moving through this area, and I can certainly hear the rain and all of that as I'm standing here right now, sheltering in place at the fire station. Yeah, that's just kind of what we know right now as we're sheltering in place.
Okay.
So I'll go ahead and send it back to you.
Great, thank you. And we do have, again, in that area too, there is circulation that we're concerned with, but right here, This is Route 6. This is the core of this, what could be up to baseball-sized hail is now going to move into town. So Kate's right here. Kate's on the edge of this. The main hail core is just off to her southwest now with the latest update. Weakened a little bit, but it's still there. So we're probably golf ball-sized hail at this point now, golf ball to baseball-sized. Doesn't matter. It's all destructive. You need to take shelter immediately. But that's heading right into town. Here's Railroad Avenue. Just again, for everybody's bearings here, Main Street in Princeton. The whole city of Princeton is going to be affected by this. And again, we're also concerned with rotation as well. So I'm going to, again, show that here. Still some broad rotation, but we are noticing that. But look at this down here towards that tornado warning. We've got several little pockets of circulation here too, again, that we're watching very closely here in the Neponset area. So just west of Neponset, we continue with that circulation, and again, we continue with that tornado warning here in effect until 7:15. But again, we continue to watch several areas, not just these areas in Bureau County. We've got several pockets of circulation. Okay, a new severe thunderstorm warning? Okay.
Okay, yeah. Well, let's come back to one, and I'll take a little tour here. If we can come back to me, there we go. Okay, if we can go back to what we had there, Teresa. Warnings, no queue. There we go. There we go. Okay. All right. This is what I wanted to show you. There's our new severe thunderstorm warning. This is for much of Joe Daviess County. We have one just outside Joe Daviess County, across the river, including Dubuque. This storm will likely head toward Galena. This is more of a Stockton storm. And you can see that we do have a hail core with this one just south of Elizabeth. And again, that storm will head to Stockton. Let's go back to the wide view that we just had a few seconds ago there, T. There you can see that warning goes till 7:30 for portions of Dubuque County, even Jones County. We know some folks up there watch us. But let's, yeah, there we go. And let's fill the screen with these, take off the warning, and we're just going to go right down the pike here. We have, and again, when you're looking at these oranges and reds, unless it's a tornado warning, and I'll point that out, these are severe thunderstorm warnings with tornadoes possible. And we have that first one right there with Princeton. You can see the hail core going right over Princeton proper. Our tornado warning that included portions of Henry County and Bureau County, the back end of that was shaved off near Kewanee as that storm progresses toward Princeton, again with that rotation and that hail core outside of that. And if you're thinking about going on I-80 anytime soon, don't do it, especially if you're thinking about going east. Take a break, let it go for a couple hours, and let's get these storms out of here. But again, severe thunderstorm warning for portions of eastern Henry County and western Bureau County. Then you can see the hail cores as we drop to this severe thunderstorm warning here. And this one includes northern Henderson and Warren, but more importantly, this one's going to just nick the northwest corner of Knox County, getting into Henry County. It's also a portion of Mercer County there. That's kind of two warnings on top of each other. And then we have our tornado warning back for Mount Pleasant. But we go to the north, and we're still dealing with these severe thunderstorm warnings, one that does include Scott County, Rock Island County, Whiteside County, Illinois, and the eastern half of Clinton County. Again, here you're looking at some small hail. This is the one that ran through Buffalo with quarter-size hail, the Metro with marble-size hail, and is now producing hail right up the Mississippi River. So that's a look at your current warnings. And again, our most important storm would be that one down toward Kewanee behind our banner right now that's heading toward Princeton. That circulation that Kyle has been pointing out is still on the map. So we're still most concerned about that as it heads toward the very populous city of Princeton. Not only that, but a lot of lightning. Boy, you start hearing thunder, time to get indoors. And there you can see, as Teresa's added the radar to all these warnings, why we're looking at these warnings. Scattered storms that will have the potential for some hail off to the north. But it's the stronger storms right along the warm front that are kind of locked onto the warm front, where we're having the more major size hail and also the rotations that have given us these two tornado warnings, one in southeast Iowa and one for Bureau County and a little bit of Henry County, Illinois remaining. Kyle?
Yeah, so still looking here, as you mentioned, we're watching, and I'm kind of keeping an eye on the circulations here because we've got several of them. That one that we were concerned with that was over Princeton, I'd say has weakened a little bit, which is good, but you're not out of the clear by any stretch of the imagination. If you're in Princeton, off to your southwest, we've got one north of Bradford there. That's actually developing into a pretty notable circulation, in fact. So that might be, and again, we got to look at placement of these. So when you look at that, if I was going to be out chasing a storm, that's the one I would be on, that particular circulation, because here's why. Well, first off, you got a hook echo forming there, so just west of Tisquoia. If you're in Tisquoia, I'm telling you right now, please take this seriously. I have no doubt they're going to extend this tornado warning here, and this will likely include Princeton and Tisquoia. You're not under a tornado warning at this time, but you need to take your tornado precautions. Wyanett, Princeton, Tisquoia, Malden, even up towards Dover area, east towards maybe even as far east as Bureau Junction. But right there, and see how that's turning, that's kind of a more easterly moving type deal here. That's more likely on that warm front. But here's the other thing. It's got nothing to the south here. So it's really unimpeded. So it's got all that heat and humidity to feed it. This thing could go for quite some time. And what's very concerning to me is the models showed this particular storm. I mean, it's evolving almost exactly how one of our models was showing, and it was showing this kind of moving east. So what I can tell you, the I-80 corridor here into the Illinois Valley, LaSalle, Peru, eventually, Spring Valley, Seatonville, Hollowayville, Dalzell, you folks out there, Cherry, Malden, all those areas in Bureau County, kind of that southern 3/4 of Bureau County, need to be alert. But that circulation developing there northwest of Bradford there, kind of north of the Kentville Road area, that's concerning there. And again, I have no doubt that just based off of what we're seeing here with this continued strengthening circulation, I have no doubt that they're going to extend that warning here momentarily. We'll watch that. I'm going to go back further south. This area here into parts of Mercer County, also northern parts of Henderson County, Knox County, we're noticing very broad rotation, but it's very muddled. It's a very odd situation. Might be seeing something trying to tighten up here south of Woodhull. Worth watching. Again, very favored area. But then also back off here to the west. If you're in Mount Pleasant, we have a broad rotation with this, and that's why we have that tornado warning that continues here for Henry County, Iowa, northern 3/4 of Henry County, Iowa. But the circulation, I think, is going to be maybe just to the north of Mount Pleasant. If you're in Mount Pleasant, you're under the warning. Wouldn't be surprised if they shave this off, maybe up to the 34 corridor. But Wayland, and from Mount Pleasant to Wayland, up towards the Winfield area, you're under that tornado warning nonetheless. You need to take shelter immediately as that continues to move on. So I know, Eric, a lot of hail reports still, but again, I want to watch, going to continue to keep a very close eye on this storm here in southern. Look at what's doing right now. You can see it moving kind of a southerly move there. That means it is on that warm front.
It's on that eastward track.
That is going to head Bureau Junction and Hennepin. You need to take your immediate tornado precautions just based off of what we're seeing. This is a very fast evolving circulation here, a very dangerous situation evolving here, again, for southern Bureau County.
Okay, we've got some hail pictures as well, so let's take a look at those. A lot of you have probably gotten hail today, quarter-size hail, and that's the best way to show it. Put that quarter right down next to those stones, some round stones to be sure. That is from Wyanett, Illinois, and again, part of the line of storms that has been consistently producing hail pretty much all late afternoon, now early evening long. And we are coming up on 7 o'clock, so I'll just get this out of the way. You're watching severe storm coverage on KWQC TV6 Davenport, Iowa, where right now we have 2 areas of concern and a new severe thunderstorm warning. And there you can see that this one is just south of Iowa City. There's Kelowna right now, south of Iowa City, and this storm will track into mainly Cedar County. This is a warning that goes out till 7:45, and it does include a little bit of Scott County and a little bit of northern Muscatine County, really anywhere along Highway 6 from Wilton south down over to the west, and then north of there for portions of the TV6 viewing area. So if you're in Tipton or Bennett, Wilton, get ready to take shelter. Again, watch how quickly this hail core grows. We'll see if it gets to those dark blues by the time it hits either 218 or Highway 6. If it does, that means it's stuck to a pretty good updraft. Or maybe it's a little farther north and it's one of those elevated thunderstorms. We'll just have to wait and see what that hail does. Nonetheless, that severe thunderstorm warning continues mostly for Cedar County, but also northern Muscatine County. And I just want to say, yes, I've taken off the jacket, but it's getting warm because we are, we've been doing this for more than an hour now, and we are kind of warm. Please don't ever let the way somebody's dressed influence your thought about severe weather. If you're under a warning or near one, take shelter.
Okay, I do have some video that we've got in. We've got this spotter out here in Bureau County, and he's got a great view of this. Just chatting with the Weather Service, they think that this thing is really starting to get going here, and they are concerned that a tornado is possible here at any minute within this warning. I have no doubt, folks, that this is going to get extended. Two areas that we're watching is on Route 34 here, just near the Sheffield area. And let me know when we get that video up I just put in there from Neponset.
It looks like the warning just got extended to the edge of Bureau County.
Okay, so we're going to see that new tornado warning pop
possible.
up. Oh,
It's a
tornado
severe thunderstorm,
possible.
tornado
Okay.
possible, yep.
And it does show, according to the chat, they are also, so we've got that because we've got that hail threat too. But I would say here, really in no time, we might see that tornado warning extended. But what we noticed here with that video that Parker got, we saw a large feeder band and just all the right things that we need to see to get tornadoes to form, and so we're watching that. But two spots here, again, kind of closing in on the Princeton, Tiscoa area here, the I-180 corridor towards Bureau Junction, head up into Depew. Those two areas is we're watching. Let's take a look at that video and look at this. You can see that's the rain and hail core there, but look at that very low hanging cloud feeding right into that storm. That's very indicative of not only a supercell, but just we're close to maybe another rotation or tornado forming there. And certainly Weather Service also agreeing with that as well.
Yeah, and if we can go to, if you can put Max 2 behind me just for a second, I'm going to steal it from Kyle. Because I do want to show you that we're still getting a pretty good signature here, and this is far away from the radar site. I mean, this is almost to the edge of our viewing area. So we're looking at 50 to 60 miles, and we're still getting this very strong signature. So that's why, one reason we know it's a strong storm, but what we just showed you, that long cloud feeding into it, this has got quite the updraft strength right now. And again, as we get toward Tiscoa, you need to be in your shelter right now. Also, Princeton, as Kyle has been saying, it's a broad rotation, but as you can see, we've also got some hail and this torrential rain with lightning as well. If we can go back to 1 now, behind me, we've got the whole viewing area that's involved in severe weather. Max 1 behind me, please. There we go, got my mic back on. Okay, yep, it's the line of potential tornado-producing storms with the large hail and then scattered severe thunderstorms. And if we, Teresa, if you can zoom in on that one in eastern Joe Davis County, that one's now producing a hail core as well, probably close to south of Elizabeth, close to Stockton, or at least closing in on Stockton, right there on Highway 20, south of Woodbine. So if you're up here in Joe Davis County, I just met somebody from Joe Davis County at the auto show last week. We thank you for watching. We know we have a lot of people watching up there. And right now, not only do you have a severe thunderstorm warning for this eastern portion of the county, complete with a hail core that's heading maybe just south of Stockton, but on the way to Stockton. You can see the leading edge just on the edge of your screen, that storm that was warned in Dubuque County, now crossing the Mississippi. That's in East Dubuque right now and heading toward Galena. So if you are in the Galena area and points north up toward East Dubuque, I was going to say Hazel Green, but that's Wisconsin. But if you're watching from Hazel Green, we thank you. This storm with hail and heavy rain heading your way. Do you have something new, Kyle?
I do, and I just put it, if we get this on the air, I think we're close to a tornado happening here into Bureau County. It's actually near the Bradford area. This is going to be kind of on the, I think right about the Kentville Road area. Let me know when we could take that. I just put that in there. We got from viewers, but Kentville Road is, you can see right there, Kentville Road, right just to the north of that here along the Wynette Walnut Road and Kentville Road, just to the northwest. Look at that lowering. That's close to, I mean, that's a wall cloud, no doubt about it. That's a circulation. So it's on the edge of this warning. I would imagine here momentarily this is going to get extended to include the Tiscoa area. But you need to take your immediate tornado precautions here in the southern part of Bureau County right now, because again, this is looking north here into Bureau County, just west of Tiscoa, of a very well-defined wall cloud and circulation. So again, very concerning here in Bureau County. Again, I imagine momentarily we're going to see that warning extended. But I also want to mention too on the storm I'm watching in Knox County. Look at this. This is very concerning.
Oh yeah,
and this is we've got again these two storms in particular. What's different about them? Well, here's the deal. They have nothing to their south. They have completely unimpeded access to that heat, all that moisture that's to the
humidity,
south, and we kind of saw that starting to take shape there with that storm, with that large feeder band trying to suck that that warm air in to keep itself going.
And Kyle,
But
yeah, it's funny because the white line from our Knox County box there is pointing right at that notch that we're concerned about.
yeah,
Right on I-74.
Let's see, we got some wall cloud video here too. We can take a look here and see. This is from, they're preparing it now from Hennepin, Illinois. And so Hennepin's it's in Putnam County, just outside of our viewing area, but this is heading right towards that area. I know we've got viewers out there in southeastern Bureau County, so once they get that up, and let's see here. Yeah, you can see there is, we got some weird clouds there, no
Yeah.
doubt. I don't know if that is quite too...
Kind of just chaotic sky.
It looks
kinda
like a
thing.
chaotic sky, but I want to come back out here, Eric. Look at this. This is interesting. So I'm again going to reiterate here for the folks in Bureau County. The most concern I've got right now is going to be for areas south of I-80. Might go just south of Princeton, but you're too close for comfort here. But very notable circulation. The storm is exploding, and now it's starting to turn east, kind of a right-moving storm. When this happens, we see tornadoes. I'm just like that's what it's setting up to do here, I think. And we've got that hook echo south of 80, so it's heading right towards Tiscoa. And again, that storm we're watching, but the characteristics here with this storm into Henry County, Knox County, some of the same areas that just got hit by this other one that had that baseball-sized hail at one point.
Can you get velocity on that one?
Yeah, we'll put velocity on. So those are the two we're watching, and it's pretty impressive to see that there. But yeah, look at that. You could see that we certainly are seeing maybe a notch forming there in northern Knox County. So again, broad new severe thunderstorm warning issued once again for Henry County. Let's see, I bet you we got that tagged with, so considerable damage threat and tornado possible with that, no doubt about that, that we're watching that. But just continue here with these several areas where we've got these broad circulations, but that hail core just south of Woodhull again, we're back up to about golf ball sized hail at the least.
Okay, a little update. Teresa, if you can get me to the Joe Davis County storm here, this was just upgraded from a severe thunderstorm warning to a severe thunderstorm warning with perhaps destructive hail or damaging hail. Let's get there you go. Considerable damage possible with this storm. The color just turned from yellow to this orange, and that means right here. And let's get a little bit closer into it. Let's see Stockton come up if we can just zoom in a little bit more there, T. We've got this warning till 7:30. And there's Stockton right there. So the hail core will just brush Stockton. So anywhere in eastern Joe Davis County, especially along Highway 20 and to the south of Highway 20 in that southeastern corner of the county, you do want to make sure you're taking shelter because that hail core is crossing your way. It looks like it might have lost a level or two, but it's still potentially with 2-inch hail threat, considerable damage producing storm. So that warning for Joe Davis County and the TV6 viewing area goes till 7:30. Wind speeds topping off around 50, and then this will move into Stevenson County, but it's still going to be your bugaboo here for about the next 20 minutes or so as that warning goes till 7:30, and the time check now is 7:07. We can widen out now, and let's just take a look at the northern half of our viewing area. This would be the current severe thunderstorm warnings. We still have that one that includes portions of Clinton County. Now it looks like Scott County has been taken off, so portions of Whiteside County, and it looks like they just went ahead and eliminated Rock Island County from that. But you're probably getting some pretty good rainfall. Don't see any lightning around Clinton, but just down toward Comanche there, you see that little gray spot. That's the beginning of a hail core. And again, this storm has a history of producing anywhere from marble size to quarter size hail as it now moves right back up the Mississippi. It'll be getting into northwestern Whiteside County before it jumps the county line right there and gets into Carroll County. Let's see what else we have north of Interstate 80 as we widen things out. And again, we're kind of forming a wall of storms to our west, and these will all, well, northwest of the Metro Quad Cities, but west of the northern half of the TV6 viewing area. And this line, you can see scattered portions of the area into hail. Let's move this back west a little bit, move back to the left, I should say. Get these storms to the left of the screen so we can show everybody who's in their path that they're coming their way for Jackson County. Again, no warnings for you at this time. You've already had one storm kind of pop up and go, but the leading edge of these storms will be coming its way into Jackson County shortly. There's a new warning outside of our our area except for the northwest corner of Cedar County. And then here's that next warning here. And again, we were talking about this hail core, and certainly it is getting to be a bit more of a problematic hail core as we've now got some dark blue in there. And the warnings for hail 1.5 inches, 1.5 inches, might be a little bit bigger than that, 50-mile-per-hour winds. This warning, which does include much of Cedar County and a northern slice here of Muscatine County, this goes till 7:45. And as far as our scattering of thunderstorms, as you can see, it's going to happen in our northern counties for a while, at least to get these out of here. But these will congeal into a line. They're already doing that. But our real heavy rainmakers, our big hail producers, and our spinners are off to the south of Interstate 80 and Mount Pleasant. You're about to get a hail core, so take shelter now as this hail moves into Mount Pleasant proper. Kyle?
This is, we'll take a look here, and you can kind of see the view. I've got things a little thinned out here. This is the velocity, and this shows us the wind and wind speed and direction with inside these storms, and we can really pick out where we've got the circulations. You can see in Bureau County, we still continue with circulation here, and waiting to see if we're going to issue a warning. It has broadened out a little bit. We don't have a tornado confirmed at this time, but we've had at times wall clouds being reported and circulations being reported, and I can tell you very evident there where you can see where those have occurred. But it is continuing to organize, and there's additional rotation developing in certain pockets here throughout Bureau County. Really, anywhere in Bureau County at this point, you need to continue to take shelter and at least be prepared to move to shelter immediately. But we're still watching that area now south of Princeton, heading towards Bureau Junction, Hennepin, eventually up towards Depew and Hollowayville, Seatonville, Spring Valley. Watching that. Cherry might also get into that as well. But I'm really concerned about this storm here into Knox County, also southern Henry County. Pretty intense rotation starting to take shape there, as well as also into Henry County, Iowa, Eric.
All right, yeah, let's take a look at our Henry County, Iowa storm right now, as a matter of fact, as we come back, and it looks like that hail core just north of Mount Pleasant. This storm moving to the east-northeast at about 45 miles per hour, winds of 60 miles per hour. There you see it. This warning is going till 8 p.m. and again, tagged as tornado possible with 1.5 inches hail possible. But again, that hail core is getting much more problematic there, with the potential for perhaps up to tennis ball size hail when we get into those purples. Hey, T, if we could put on the SRV so we can take a look and see if we can find where the rotation is with this one. And there you can see, again, a broad stroke of rotation here. We've got the greens next to the yellows, and it looks like at this point, right north of Mount Pleasant, when they say tornado possible, this is what we're looking at here. And we've got air going toward the radar site in the Quad Cities here in green, air going away in red, and that's a little broad, but I'll tell you what, that is a pretty good looking circulation, or at least an impressive circulation in terms of what this thunderstorm is doing. So as we saw this moving kind of east-northeast, it will jump over Mount Pleasant proper, but again, this is a concerning spin here. So if you're on Highway 218 north of Mount Pleasant and then on toward Mount Union, as we can see this one moving right that direction, you're going to want to take shelter in the central and eastern portions of Henry County, Iowa, especially north of Highway 34 going through Mount Pleasant, because again, look at, there's that circulation. We're looking at radar from the Quad Cities, so we get in the green, air going toward the radar site, in the red, air going away from the radar site, and there you go. You put that those next to each other, that gives us the indication of rotation. We've got some video from Comanche of some hail, and again, this was the storm that moved over the Metro Quad Cities, gave us some hail, and it was warned, and there you go. One of those is bigger than quarter size. That's almost golf ball size hail, that one that's closest to the quarter. And again, yeah, we've got kind of a hail outbreak with most of these storms. That's the one sure thing we're seeing. And even if you look at that frame on the left of your screen, look at all the blue dots. Those are hail cores. Those are in the thunderstorms that have significant updrafts. That's why we're getting some of those deep blues and purples indicating hail that could be golf ball size to tennis ball size in diameter. And here on the right, you see that we do have proof that we're getting hail over the size of quarters, at least that higher diameter.
Gosh.
So we've got Kyle talking about some photos you're seeing or something?
Yeah, just real quick here. This is outside of our viewing area, but I want to mention they're saying a mile-wide tornado just went through or has gone through the Kankakee area, maybe also into Bourbonnais. So that's a very serious situation. But I want to go back here to are south and west of Kewanee. We've got reports of baseball-sized hail, at least the potential for baseball-sized hail here. So this is once again developing, and that circulation looks pretty intense, actually, or at least it's broad, but it's starting to intensify. What we're noticing here is you see those yellows, that's the strengthening wind within this storm, but that green too, we got a lot of convergence happening here. I do think it's very broad circulation, but this one's going to become, I think, the one to watch here in no time. But we still continue into Bureau County, even though we got this severe thunderstorm warning, that tornado warning set to expire here in about 45 seconds. So they continue with the severe thunderstorm warning at this time, but broad circulation between Princeton down towards Tiscowa. We're watching that closely. Still we got some hail issues there as well. And it looks like maybe a new severe thunderstorm warning
Stark
there.
County.
Yeah, and let's see, I bet you this is going to be destructive tagged, possibly. No, we're up to 2-inch, but oh, look at that right there, east of Woodhull. That's a circulation developing right there too. Looks like, so again, kind of the same area we were talking about a little bit ago, and that's going to be here, kind of that Route 34 corridor, which has essentially been the area of concern for a lot of this. But you can see Knox and Stark County, considerable damage threat, and a tornado possible with that. So they're marking that, and again, that's going to move right up, back up into Bureau County. Let's go to Comanche, where we've got golf ball sized hail, I believe we said. So again, we'll continue to watch these storms here into Henry County, Knox County, Stark, and Bureau County. Circulations are being noted. We'll continue to watch those. But yeah, definitely more storms too. And yeah, it's not just here in the southern part that we're dealing with the hail threat. It is above that warm front, north of that warm front too, that we're concerned about that hail threat, Eric.
Yeah, and again, we'll take a look at 3 zones that we're watching. We'll just hang right here, and you can see the rotating thunderstorms with large hail, essentially south and east of the Quad Cities. Remember, this is an area that was a level 4 risk for severe weather, level 3 for tornadoes, and we've certainly had rotation in these storms. Then we're looking into southeastern Iowa. We'll look at these kind of make that eastward turn. These are right turners as well, and it looks like they just caught up to the warm front. At this point, they look to be heading toward the Metro and Muscatine, and then in these last few frames, they're starting to move more east. But there's that hail core in northern Henry County, Iowa. And then up here, north and west of the Quad Cities, another conglomeration of storms that they started off as discrete storms. Now they're starting to form a line, and these will work their way through the northern half of the Quad Cities area, including northern Scott County, all the way through Clinton into Jackson County, and on the Illinois side, Joe Davis, Carroll, and Whiteside County as these move on to the east. But again, so far more of a heavy rain threat. Hey, well, let's go back and over here, check in on Joe Davis County. There you can see that south of Stockton, just missing the heaviest of this hail core, which is getting a little bit more impressive as it goes toward Kent. Certainly the chance for some small hail in Stockton and some torrential downpours, which at this point are starting to get out of the county as they move to the east. But you're not done. We just showed you what's happening in east central Iowa, and that line of storms is heading your way a little bit later. And there's Galena just on the doorstep. Galena, you've got some heavy rain and maybe some small hail as that little hail core that's just moving right on the northern border of Jackson County up there toward Zwingle, I believe, and then toward Bernard on 151, another hail core. And we'll have to keep eyes on this as this one looks like it's moving more east as well. So that would track through that northern portion of Jackson County and then get into Joe Davis County as well. Let's back off and take a look then at the storms as a whole here in the QCA. This is why we're on the air, because we've got the potential for tornadoes. We even still have a tornado warning, although I think that one just got taken off the map. But we have severe thunderstorm warnings with possible tornado tags. So we've got the rotation, we've got the large hail, some of this potentially becoming destructive hail. And as we look at our maps here, our showers and thunderstorms continue. And now a new warning. This is, I think, exclusively for Carroll County as we zoom in toward areas outside of Savannah toward Mount Carroll. This does include portions of Whiteside County, but there you go. Carroll County from Thompson to Lanark, kind of cutting this county in half from southwest to northeast. This thunderstorm, which again has a history producing some small hail, now moving your way. Do you have any updates, Kyle?
I do. Look at this. We're going to come back out here.
Wow.
If you're in Henry County, Iowa, you need to take shelter now. This is tag destructive. This is baseball-sized hail. It's on here. It's saying it's hen egg, but I could tell you we were pretty much maxed out there. So that is very dangerous, folks. You folks in the Winfield area, you need to get indoors now. You need to take shelter now. I want to put a path on this here. Okay, hail. Okay, we got also Galva. We'll get back to that area momentarily. Again, we got a lot going on here, but this right now is very concerning. I'm going to put the path on this just to kind of give some areas here an idea of when we can expect this. Winfield here, within the next 5 to 10 minutes or so, that hail core will start moving into town. Mount Union, Marsh area, the Crusade High School, morning sun about 7:30 as well. So we've got that to watch. This is a very dangerous storm there here into Henry County, Iowa. Back over towards, in Galva area in Kewanee. They're sounding the sirens because of the hail threat, but again, right down 34 here, right into the Kewanee area, eventually into Stark and Bureau counties, Eric.
Okay, now their severe thunderstorm warning. We were just talking about the northern portion of our viewing area. Now we do have a severe thunderstorm warning. You need me to walk off the screen? Okay, well, here's our new severe thunderstorm warning, and this is for Joe Daviess County, also northern portions of Jackson County. We were just talking about you. Now the leading edge of that storm making its way into Galena. You're probably getting some increasingly heavy downpours, and this hail core right there, that's working its way right now along 151, but it's going to go right over the Dubuque County Airport there, just south of where 151 meets 61. And as this continues to move east, it's going to hit that portion of Jackson County that just juts up to the north. And then that hail core looks to be on a trajectory that takes it very close to Galena. So we're probably looking at inch and a quarter hail. So be ready for that. And then as that continues to move farther to the east, it will get in toward Elizabeth, Illinois, kind of staying along that Highway 20 corridor. Along with that, we've got some fairly heavy rain as well. Not much lightning with this storm, unless we took off the lightning. Not sure, maybe Teresa turned off the lightning. But either way, we've got a severe thunderstorm. Let's go back to the metro. We hear sirens are going off in Bettendorf.
Yeah,
we did get a downpour not too long ago, but
okay.
Interesting.
Don't have any warnings.
Don't have any storms that are warned.
Unless they've got something that they're seeing. If we could, Eric, I've got, this is probably the best visual because we have a lot of warnings right now. And this is what I've done. I took all the watches off, and tornado warnings, severe thunderstorm warnings are laid out here. So kind of going from north to south here. And if you're north of I-80, it's a hail threat. All these have a hail threat, but exclusively hail threat to the north. Cedar County, you've got a severe thunderstorm warning for you. Also parts of Carroll County, Joe Daviess County, northern parts of Jackson County, southern Dubuque County, severe thunderstorm warnings there. It might clip Scott County. I don't know if that's why we've got the sirens going off, but again, no tornado threat that we see. But Bureau County, the eastern 3/4 of Bureau County right now, that storm has got some significant hail, some broad rotation with that. Then towards Kewanee, very dangerous situation there as we have destructive hail moving into the Galva and Kewanee area, Mercer County, and again, that destructive tagged severe thunderstorm warning here for the northern part of Henry County, Iowa, Eric.
Yeah, and let me do you one better on this because we've got coded warnings. So let's take a look at this map. We'll keep it right here, Teresa. No need to move it. But you see the yellow boxes. Those are thunderstorm warnings with the typical 60-mile-per-hour winds, 1-inch hail. But when we see the orange ones and then this red one, those are kind of severe thunderstorm warnings plus. And anything in orange, these are considered destructive potential severe thunderstorm warnings, and that's everyone but this one in Henry County, Iowa. That reddish color, not quite a tornado, but a considerable damage severe thunderstorm warning, and that's because right there in the northeastern part of the county right now, we do have a very impressive hail core. That could be a hen egg to tennis ball size hail at this point, and another one following it. Right now, this is all north of Mount Pleasant, although you're probably getting some rain in the area, but also tornado possible with this. And there you see the destructive tag on this particular severe thunderstorm warning. This goes till 8 o'clock, but look at where the hail core is. And it's been moving just a little bit north of due east. So this is going to bring it into Louisa County, Wapello. You need to be watching out for this one. This will be a little south of Columbus Junction, but again, toward Wapello. And then this is going to get close to Lake Oneida and continue to move toward the Mississippi River right through kind of the heart of the county there. So if you're in southwestern or southern Louisa County, you need to take shelter right now. And there we now have the new warning for that. Just as I'm speaking about it, there you go. New severe thunderstorm warning, destructive tag because of the size, the potential size of this hail, 2 3/4 inches in diameter, along with 50-mile-per-hour winds. This warning will go till 8:15. So again, if you're in the southern half of Louisa County, take shelter now.
We're getting reports of large hail. We got a crew in Princeton, Illinois. We've got reports of large hail happening in Princeton right now. And so if we can go to put Max 2 behind me, and I could show that. But I want to also, while we're doing that, let's talk about the sirens. We're getting a lot of people calling in asking. We don't know why they're going off. There's no warning right now for Scott County, so the county does sound them as a whole. I don't know if something was spotted, but I'm not seeing anything on radar, so we're just, again, not sure why they're going off. But just to answer that, there is no tornado warning for the metro at this time, and I don't believe any severe thunderstorm warnings. But we've got, okay, so we'll get to that in a minute, but I want to show kind of where this is going. So this is just on the southeastern fringe of Princeton. Again, we've got reports from folks in Princeton telling us that there is very large hail falling right now. Probably golf ball sized, I would say. Yeah, it is tagging golf ball sized hail. This is heading east, and I'll put a path on this as it kind of east, maybe a little northeast, but it's going to take it into the Seatonville area, about 735, Spring Valley, 740. The LaSalle, Peru area, about 746. That's going to continue on, unfortunately, kind of right down I-80 and Route 6, Route 34 there. So hopefully you're not traveling, because that would be, it'd essentially be following you. Also getting reports of some rotation still, and it looks like we've got a couple areas there, maybe near Ladd, of circulation right on I-80 there. So we'll have to watch that. If you're in Ladd over towards Arlington, you got to remember, these warnings are all tagged tornado possible. So we have to act like, these things can happen pretty quickly, and we've seen that. So we're going to watch that closely as that eventually goes off into the Illinois Valley, into the LaSalle, Peru area. Look at this. This is near the Toulon area, and our spotter he's heading back down to this, and he just said large lowering near Bradford, and I'm assuming that this is the one. Yeah, there's Bradford over here. So we'll get some visual on that, but that looks pretty impressive as far as velocity goes. And when we show this, the green is the winds heading towards the radar. The lighter the color, the stronger the winds are with inside this. So even if we're not seeing a circulation per se, we're seeing some pretty gusty winds, maybe up to 75 miles an hour. Wow.
Yeah, Kyle, look at just west of Toulon there. I mean, is there even a hook echo with that? Because that looks to be...
look at that. That's a feeder band is what we have there. So you can actually see this.
And it points right to the hail core, too.
Yeah, I'm going to turn the hail off, but oh, wow, this is impressive. Yeah. You can see... I'm telling you right now, folks, if you're in the northeastern parts of Knox County, northwestern Stark County, maybe into Bureau County here, southeastern Henry County, that is certainly pretty concerning there. And I bet you if we put that in motion, it's heading to the east. So exactly what it's doing. So it might be on that warm front once again. But Bradford area, I know we got people out there, and then the southern portion of Bureau County. Again, unfortunately, we kind of knew this would happen. It might come in waves, and so we're going to watch that very closely. But wow, look at that. I'm going to check and make sure we don't have any debris happening here. Oh, look at that.
Wow, look at that.
We might have a debris signature. Something there. We are a little further out from the radar, but when we start to see these blues and some of that muddled color there, that represents, and when there is a notable circulation.
Right over Goshen.
Yeah, that township right there. Here's Elmira, here's Toulon. So Toulon to your northwest, but Kewanee, Wethersfield, you need to be taking your tornado precautions. I would assume that they are typing up a tornado warning for that based off of also, because we have spotters in this area too. So I'll be talking to him to see what he's got. But that is going to be heading kind of to the east. These storms have been a little bit more easterly along that warm front. And so, again, Stark County, Southern Bureau County, continue to watch. We'll continue to track this. We do have Kate Kopatich. Again, she's up in Princeton, and they just saw some pretty large hail. Kate, things probably quieting down a little bit there in Princeton. What do you see right now?
Yeah, Kyle, it's kind of been hit or miss. We've seen it come in waves, and then it kind of slowed down. We were able to actually go outside. Just briefly, they opened up the garage doors here at the fire station, and that is the size of hail that just came down moments ago. It has stopped now at this point, but also behind me, I can see in the streets that there's street kind of water puddling up in the streets. So we've seen a lot of rain here in Princeton as well. Right now, it's not hailing, but it was just a little while ago, and that's kind of been the situation here all night long as we've been sheltering in place at the Princeton Fire Department. So I'll go ahead and send it back to you.
Kate, thank you so much. And I do want to mention that I do have some clarification on this. There is and this is the thing, folks, Scott County sounds of sirens as a whole.
I wondered about that.
A little tiny sliver of Scott County got included in that warning, and guess what? That hit the button for everything. So that's why the sirens went off. No immediate threat for the metro.
All right, let's go to Louisa County, Iowa. Here's our latest severe thunderstorm warning. Destructive tag, because look at that hail core that's coming out of Winfield, heading toward Morning Sun, Wapello, south of Columbus Junction. As a matter of fact, you're not even getting rain right now for the most part. You're probably looking at a pretty interesting sky if you can see through any low overcast that's there. But again, as we take a look at that hail core, we're getting into that color range of perhaps hen egg hail, tennis ball size hail, maybe approaching baseball size hail. At least that's the potential when we show you this product and show you those colors. Again, heading toward Morning Sun, Wapello, right up and down Highway 61. Minneapolis, it's probably going to pass just north of you. But again, if you're in Louisa County, you need to take shelter. This warning goes till 8:15. Along with that, we've got 50-mile-per-hour winds. If we can do a track on this, and there we go. This is probably moving about 45 if we can get it farther out. Even if we can't, this will give you a little estimate of who this is going to be affecting. Morning Sun at about 7:32, Wapello 7:36. We go to Port Louisa, 7:40, then Joy, Illinois at 7:53 as this hops across the Mississippi and then gets into adjacent portions of Mercer County, Illinois. This one's going to be just south of the metro and probably starting to make a little more of an eastern turn as it clears the river. Aledo, 8 o'clock, right when this warning is set to expire. But again, this is kind of the pattern we've been seeing. Everything that's developing south, these supercells, they spring up pretty quickly with the heavy rain, but then they go right over to hail threats, and with that threat of rotation as well. That's why most of these severe thunderstorm warnings have tags either for possible tornado or considerable or destructive attributes. We've got some video that we can show you. This is from, that's pretty good hail. Where's this from again? Woodhull. All right, there you go, along Highway, the Interstate 74 there, close to Highway 34, but there you've got the hail that's been produced by many of these storms, and it's pretty easy to see because we're getting those larger sizes. Would not be surprised that if a lot of people wake up, tonight, if you go look at your car, if it's been parked outside, maybe you get some little dents, dings and dents in those cars because we had such a hail threat so far. I know mine's out back, and we did have hail here, but I don't think it's enough to do damage. Nonetheless, the hail potential that we have tonight is egg, tennis ball, maybe baseball size hail, and a lot of it out and about south of Interstate 80. But again, this is the warning that goes till 8. This is for Louisa County, and we can back out and catch up with a few more warnings here. And there's that other hail core that we were talking about a little earlier, Cedar County, northern Muscatine County. We told you, watch this hail core, and sure enough, it went from a little gray and white. Now we're getting those purples in there. So south of West Branch and north of West Liberty, right down Interstate 80. And again, here's the severe thunderstorm warning that is out till 7:45 p.m. tonight. So this gives us about another almost 15 minutes. But I'm sure if this one is canceled or allowed to expire, this will be extended because it looks like a strong hail core right along Interstate 80. I'd almost like to see the traffic cameras there, but it's probably too dark with this torrential rainfall falling and limiting visibility. So this storm will work its way into northern Scott County and western portions of Clinton County. You know, when you look at these boxes, these warning boxes, these polygons, you expect if it goes till 7:45, then the storms will be somewhere around the the farthest east edge by about 7:45. So considering we've got about 10 to 15 minutes to go, this one could certainly be extended into Clinton and northern Scott County. We'll see, but that hail core, just like most of these tonight, is indicating at least the possibility of some pretty intense ice. Kyle?
Yeah, so getting a report right now, and I'm trying to get this passed along here to the Weather Service because I do see it here on radar.
Oh, yeah.
But we got a circulation, we got a report of a rotating wall cloud north of, they're saying north of Granville, but this is going to be it here in Bureau County, southeastern Bureau County. This is heading towards Spring Valley. If you're in Spring Valley, you need to take your tornado precautions right now. The circulation certainly is there. Ladd, Hollowayville, Depew, Spring Valley, Dalzell, and eventually off towards LaSalle, Peru. I know we do have some viewers out there, but this area right here, the circulation right now is just north of Depew. Here, Hollowayville area as well. We do have some video. Let's take that. What we got from Hennepin? We got some video. Yeah, chaotic sky for sure there.
Yeah,
let's go back to radar here and go to back to, out
You know,
here.
on your radar, Kyle, I want to point out you're getting that from Chicago.
There we go.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah, it keeps oscillating because once you get into
Yeah,
LaSalle
we're right on
County,
the edge there.
we are right on the edge. But both radars are showing the
Sure.
circulation.
Yep.
So that's kind of giving credence to this report. But here's what's happening. When you start to see the kind of that kidney bean shape with these, with that green, it kind of shows that the winds are moving counterclockwise, and then you got that red tech in here, and it gives credence to the several reports we have. I know we got at least 3 or 4 reports right now of tornado. Okay, tornado warning was just issued for some place here.
What I'd like to see on that one, though, it's just south of our viewing area.
Yeah,
Stark County.
that's the one, and we have
Yeah.
I do have a viewer out here too, who is saying that they're possibly seeing a tornado near the Toulon area. That I just saw that report here. It is not confirmed or anything, but it is. They are saying that. So a couple. Wow, look at that rotation near the Granville area. So 2 rotations right now. One tornado warned in Stark County, and this one here in southeastern Bureau County. Gosh, look at that circulation there. That might actually get into Bureau County. There's the southern tier of Bureau County.
See if debris detection gets anything on these.
Let's
especially by
check
Peru.
that because it is. I mean, that is. Yeah, there's some not great, but
not
this
great,
is
but
that's impressive though. Look
is,
at that.
yeah.
That looks like we do have a tornado in progress because that is right where. So what we look at here, folks, and I know we. Oh wow, look at that.
moved.
That is impressive.
It's kind of like a.
This is a dangerous situation. If you folks are northeast of Toulon, I bet we have a tornado on the ground. That might impact Bradford. I know we have viewers out in Bradford. You folks from Toulon to Bradford, you're under a tornado warning. You need to take your tornado precautions right now. This is the wind velocity. What we're looking at here is that big spike right there. When you see that kind of centralized, it shows that we probably have a tornado. But when we add to it the correlation coefficient or debris tracker, that's a pretty, there's a large kind of this area looks different than the rest, most likely because we have debris being lofted into the air, and it's, as the radar beam is looking out, it's saying, okay, there's something different here than all the rest. It's not rain, it's not hail. Most likely we have an active tornado here, and that is, it may have gone through Toulon. Let's take a look here and see how close we are. It's near the Medina area, Castleton, but it's heading right towards Bradford. You folks in Bradford, take shelter right now. So again, it's not confirmed, but we're going to watch that closely. And still watching this storm here into Bureau County. Again, heading towards Spring Valley, the Seatonville area, Spring Valley, Dalzell, LaSalle, Peru. Sirens in Louisa County for baseball-sized hail. We'll take a look at that here in a minute.
Yeah,
we want to
Teresa,
talk
get me
about
over
these two circulations, and we'll go to Eric again. And to recap, who's in the path of this? So the one circulation we're watching with reports from spotters of a wall cloud and rotation here north of the Granville area, well north of Granville, in southern Bureau County, Seatonville, Spring Valley, Cherry, Ladd, also towards Dalzell, LaSalle, Peru. We're watching that one very closely. And then again, what I believe is a tornado on the ground here northeast of Toulon. We have a tornado warning with this. It is heading towards Bradford, and also not quite as north as Tisquoia, but south of Tisquoia here in the southern part of Bureau County might impact places like Bureau Junction, Hennepin, Depew, and southeastern Bureau County. We're going to be watching that very closely as this continues to move through Stark County, Eric.
All right, isolated tornadoes, but lots of hail, and we've had reports now of baseball-sized hail in Louisa County. You can see where that hail core is. It was a little bit stronger, starting to weaken, but again, we see these cycle. This will weaken for a while and then start coming back up to strength, but nonetheless, we've we've heard of baseball-size hail reports from southern Louisa County. This is our warning. This goes till 8 p.m. and this is going to just kind of a glancing blow for Wapello. Between Wapello and the county line, right down 61 is where we're getting it right now. And again, this is probably a little farther east, maybe by a few miles since the last radar scan, but this will be heading toward New Boston as it crosses the Mississippi, getting into portions of Mercer County, Illinois. So even though you're not warned, this is your first alert that this warning could be extended into Mercer County. So be prepared to take shelter. You know, we go into days like this saying, have a plan and be ready to use it once your area goes under a warning. Now would be the time to start heading that way, especially if you're in western Bureau County, because very large hail is coming your way. At this point, this hail core dropping a little bit in potential size, but again, we've had reports of baseball-sized hail probably from the southwestern corner of Louisa County, right next to the Henry County line, and this continues to move to the east at about 45 miles per hour, along with the torrential rain and our warning that goes till 8 o'clock. So still within this warning that goes right up to the Mississippi. This would be about 20 minutes before this one expires. We've got hail video, speaking of hail, from Princeton. So we'll take a look at this video that we just got in, and that is almost golf ball size, almost Wilson #2 size, if you will, and that's another palm of that's about golf ball size hail in both of those hands. So this is, you know, enough hail to cause some dings and dents on the old whip. So, you know, we just want to make sure that you are keeping. Okay, and our crew out in Princeton has seen this hail, and we've gotten hail reports, numerous hail. We've got a picture from our crew in Princeton ready to go now, the hail that they have seen. So let's take a look at that, and there you go. Oh yeah, that's range ball size. Well, yeah, if you're a golf fan, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, and interestingly enough, the structure of that, I don't know if we can key me over that picture, but if you looked at the structure, it wasn't as round as the golf ball. It was made up of much smaller little balls of hail, and what that means is that there's an updraft and a downdraft and an updraft and a downdraft, and all those little pieces of hail that are probably as round as the end of your pinky, yeah, they start to freeze to each other and conglomerate and make one bigger ball of hail. So that does indicate that we've got extremely active weather, especially where this one was from along our warm front. So lots of ups, lots of downs, and in weather world that means hail. Here we go with Princeton, and we're still seeing a lot of heavy rain, but the hail right here is out, but still in that Stark County severe tornado warning. We are looking at a couple things here, a severe thunderstorm warning within a tornado warning, and we've not only got the hail, but I assume you're finding some circulation there or getting some reports, Cal?
Yeah, getting several reports, and this is very concerning here, and I want to mention too, looking at some of the data coming in from the Storm Prediction Center shows that we have right from about Princeton down south here towards just north of Peoria, all the way east towards the Chicagoland area. There is extraordinary amounts of thunderstorm energy, but also what we call thunderstorm helicity or helicity in the storm. That means these things have every ability to rotate. And what I think is happening here is I think you have a very significant circulation developing, not only here, but this whole thing has got to be watched. It's a very interesting setup here, but I'm very concerned about that.
Yeah, the winds south of I-80, though, in the red area there, I'd like to know what those are doing, because that looks like just a blast of wind.
It is, no doubt, and that's the thing, too. If we have a circulation, which we do, I mean, we do indeed have a circulation, 73, but here's my concern right here, is what we pay attention to this number. Wind speed that's telling us what the wind, if that was downburst winds, what that could potentially be if it makes it to the surface, but that's shear. It takes in both the inbound and outbound winds, so you got the green and the yellow/red. That's saying 104 mile an hour shear. That is getting up to an EF1 tornado, so that could be significant if we do indeed have a tornado on the ground. I want to look at correlation coefficient, the debris tracker, and it's in a let's see, I'm not noticing as intense of a debris signature like we did see just moments ago, and it's kind of in that voided area, but we are a ways away from the radar here at this point, so we can continue to watch this. But that is a very well defined hook echo here, southwest of Bradford, east of Toulon, heading into southern part of Bureau County, Putnam County as well. Maybe even the southeastern part of Bureau County be impacted, but broadening out. I also want to mention, we've been talking about that circulation in eastern parts of Bureau County. We continue with it in a couple areas of rotation, in fact, but it is now starting to make its way to the LaSalle, Peru area and into LaSalle County. So LaSalle, Peru, up towards Mendota. Watch that circulation there. It's broad, but it is still something that I'm concerned with and we're watching. But that is, will soon be out of the county, into LaSalle County here momentarily, but the hail is weakening on that, so that is a sign that maybe that updraft is weakening. And I think, Eric, what's going to happen here, I think this storm in Stark County might take over as the dominant storm within this bunch here as this continues to slide off to the east.
Yeah, and that's good that it's almost out of our viewing area too, so if it slips under the rest of Bureau County there, eastern Bureau County, that will be a good thing. Teresa, I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to take a look at some hail. So what we'll do first, for all you who are watching right now, first, and before we move the view there, let me show what we're going to do. We're going to go to Louisa County, then we're going to go to Cedar County, and then we're going to go up to Joe Daviess County. We're going to take a look at these severe thunderstorm warnings that have considerable hail with them. So let's start in Louisa County. And again, now the hail core right over Highway 61, just south of Wapello, moving toward the east, of course. There is Mercer County, and as we get this storm to move over the Mississippi into Mercer County, if you are in Keithsburg and western Mercer County, there will be a potential, especially around Keithsburg, maybe about 10 miles north and south of that hail core right there, making its way right through Keithsburg and adjacent areas north and south. This severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible will go till, you saw it there, I think 8:15. There are the towns: Oakville, New Boston, Pleasant View School area, Joy, and Aledo. Aledo by about 8:05 if this one holds together. And there you can see it would be moving right through this portion of Mercer County. As we go back to the information, there you go, till 8:15. So Louisa County, it'll take to about 8:15 before it jumps the river and gets into Mercer County. So Keithsburg, look at that hail core kind of coming right your way or just adjacent, maybe a couple miles north or south. And tornado possible, so if we can put on velocity on this one and see if we can still see any kind of rotation with this, Teresa, we'll kind of, there we go, a little convoluted there, but we do have some maybe a little circulation somewhere in here. This would be east of Highway 61, approaching the lake. And as we move on from this warning, then we will keep things moving along. But again, it looks like the main threat will be hail toward Oakville. There's 92, I believe, or 99. New Boston, Keithsburg. So be ready for this storm to cross the river. Now, as we move back out, we'll go up to Cedar County, because this is another severe thunderstorm warning that does have the potential for damage due to hail. Although it looks like they just changed this back to a regular severe thunderstorm warning. Yes, but as you will see, this one also includes portions of Clinton County and Scott County. We were talking about this a little bit earlier. This will be an interesting storm to watch. That southwestern structure there where the hail core is, right on Interstate 80. So again, just we've been talking about this now for the last hour or so. 80 is not the place to be, because either west or east of the Quad City storms are occurring. Let's see if we can get any circulation out of this one, Teresa, and we'll go over to the velocity product before we go up to Joe Daviess County. And not really seeing, maybe actually right there toward Wilton, maybe a little bit of a rotation there, but we'll keep tabs on that. Now we go quickly up to Joe Daviess County, and this will be our last severe thunderstorm stop before we get back over to Kyle. But in Joe Daviess County, you've still got that hail potential, and you can see that we do have that severe thunderstorm warning with perhaps some destructive tag. Here we go with not really seeing any rotation for this one that's too interesting, but if we go over to reflectivity, Teresa, with 8 o'clock, the expiration time for this warning, what we'll likely see is a pretty good hail core now making its way toward or through Joe Daviess County. I noticed this on the last look. If we can go over to reflectivity, Teresa. And let's get that hail core. Yeah, okay, wow, look at this. Bellevue, St. Donatus, boy, a lot of hail right on top of you and right on top of that stretch of 52 that works its way up into southern Dubuque County. There's St. Donatus maybe just getting clipped by that, but this is the hail that will move over the Mississippi into southern portions of Joe Davis County. And as you look at your screen here, there's Elizabeth. So if you're in Elizabeth, watch out for this because this is coming your way. You need to be taking shelter now. That is a hail core that looks to be moving due east. So this will catch up with Elizabeth where 84 gets into Highway 20 there. Kyle?
It's kind of a cool thing here to show, and cool in the sense of we get a good view of these storms. This is the storm down in the Bradford area where we do have, I just sent something over, looks like a pretty well-defined wall cloud here, but look at these tops here. What we're seeing is, so this is the 3D version of our radar, and it shows that these are starting to climb to 50,000 feet. That's impressive, and that is we're going to get that maximum hail. We're going to get that tornado threat, which is what we're seeing. We have a tornado warning there. Let's take a look at what we got some video here, pictures, and you can see there, that does look like there might be something there. There is an area we're lower to the ground, certainly a wall cloud circulation, but we kind of lose texture, and this is the problem, folks. You're not going to see these tonight because it is nighttime, and so we're watching that very closely. We got a new warning, too, to talk about, but we're watching this storm nonetheless very closely here into the Bradford area, and really concerned about that. But that's the one that has the most notable circulation. But here, the other thing I'm worried about too is, and you wouldn't think if we were talking flash flood risk a week ago, you'd think I'm crazy, but look at what's happening. We've got storm after storm after storm has moved over some of the same areas, and I bet you when we look at the precipitation over the last hour, it's going to be pretty impressive once that decides to load here. And yeah, you can see that, look at that, over time, we're talking a pretty significant amount of rainfall in places like southwestern Bureau County. Yeah, radar estimating 3 inches of rainfall has fallen, and this is in an hour's time. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get a flash flood warning here momentarily for this, because that is a concern. But we continue to watch. I'll take off hail, but wow, look at that. Look at that hook echo there. That it's heading a little bit more southeast. So I can tell you folks in the Princeton area, really all of Bureau County, that nasty tornadic storm might move a little bit more southeast. But if you're in the Henry, Illinois area and parts of Putnam County, Marshall County, you need to take shelter now. Get ready to take shelter because that's a very dangerous storm. And also watching some new development here just to the west of Kewanee. And here's the deal, folks. We're going to continue to see things pop up like this until that cold front moves through. That's when things will kind of start to settle down and come to an end. But just south of Bureau County here, that is impressive. A very significant deal there. But the circulation that we were watching into the Bureau County area, I will show you, it is very broad and weak. You compare that to that, you got a much different situation here. So we continue to watch that. But all up and down that line here, just east of Bradford, there could be some damaging, maybe gusty winds with that, maybe damaging winds, but certainly some very heavy rainfall and watching that circulation. Off to the west here, the new cell developing in Henry County, that's something to watch, but nothing too concerning. And want to watch this here into parts of Mercer County, because we still have very broad circulation, but there is some circulation, and they continue to tag that tornado possible. So again, until that front moves through here later this evening, we're going to continue to see storms form, and we're going to continue to be an environment that could support tornadic activity and very large hail.
All right, yeah, let's just take a look at the wide view to get you oriented as to what we're dealing with area-wide. We've got severe thunderstorm warnings in Joe Davis County, also Jackson County, dropping south, Cedar County into western Scott County and Clinton County. So once again, that would trigger the sirens probably around the Quad Cities metro area. The warning that we were just talking about for Mercer County and a little bit of Louisa County, that's because of that hail core. We had reports of baseball-sized hail from southwestern Louisa County. And then as we move to that very active storm, that hopefully the worst of this skips south of much of Bureau County, but you can see that hail core and some of that rotation that will just be nicking that southern extension of Bureau County. And then back up to the northwest again, we're dealing with some of those storms in northwestern Illinois. We want to bring Will in. He's got some information, something that we're wanting to monitor throughout the course of these storms, although we haven't had a lot of widespread winds, but still, any of these storms can produce some problems for you, and we'll get over there with Will at the desk. Will?
Yeah, Eric, we've been tracking power outages all night long, and there's been nothing to speak of until really the last 5-ish minutes or so. And you two are both looking at that little tip of Stark County as you are looking at the rotation and that storm activity near Bureau County and Princeton. That is where we are starting to see really the first significant power outages. Both West Jersey and Tucson have about 250 outages apiece. So those are really the first outages we are starting to see with any kind of consequence of the storm. We saw you, or rather we showed you some hail video from Woodhull, Illinois. That again was probably the first, even sizable power outages we saw earlier today. There was about 25 there. And even as I look throughout the map again, these are all just small handfuls, 1 to 2. And I believe we have that outage map for you there. Depending on what settings you have on, that's where you can see more of the outages. And you actually see now really bricked out there in that block. That's where you see that larger piece of the power outages, 351 people without power. For those small communities, that's probably the majority of folks out there that don't have power. And Kyle and Eric, I mean, those are kind of the spots that you guys were looking at for that rotation and those really severe wind gusts. Even that hail could have caused that damage as well,
Oh,
Kyle.
absolutely. Yeah, hail. And I want to mention, too, we've had, as you've been with us tonight, I know we've been bouncing around, but that's just kind of how it goes. It's like, okay, here we're tracking one thing, weekends, boom, we got something else going on in another place. So it is absolutely could be the hail. Hail is very destructive. That's why these have been tagged destructive tagged in those warnings. We look at those tags, and that's kind of how we determine the significance of the warnings. I do want to mention, too, just outside of our viewing area, but this storm here in just south of Bureau County, we got a new tornado warning here for Henry County and Stark County. Very strong circulation there with that continues. But I want to look at here, too, again, gosh, Kewanee. It keeps happening, but this is the problem. The warm front, that boundary is stationary, and so anything that gets on that and attaches to it, until that cold front moves in, we've continued to have the dynamics, and there's this pool of intense, what we call CAPE, or energy, pretty much along the Route 34 corridor and just to the south. And I think that's kind of the arc of where these storms are really trying to hold, is where that energy is the highest. So we're going to continue to watch that. But that storm near the Kewanee area is starting now. We got a little bit of a hail core developing there, so we're watching that very closely. But back to the west, I think this is going to be very significant. And I want to look. Oh wow, look at that.
We've got a rotation.
That's
I just want to show you that right near Keithsburg. Let's come back to one. There we go. We've got again. Orient yourself here. The radar site in the Quad Cities. We've got air moving toward the Quad Cities radar site, air going away in the red. So that sets up a circulation. So that's your first alert for portions of northern Henderson County and also northern Des Moines County in Iowa, because there you go. I mean, there's 61, there's Wapello on the way down to Burlington, but this is about to cross the river, and that's a pretty good looking circulation, at least an impressive circulation weather-wise, and this is moving to the east. Now, this is right in the southern end of this severe thunderstorm warning. That might become a tornado warning and repositioned a little farther to the south as this circulation moves east. And again, we're looking into southern portions of Wapello County, extreme southeast Wapello, or Louisa County. And then as this crosses, this gets over into Mercer County and northern Henderson County, Illinois. So right here, well, it is a tornado possible warning, and that's why we've got that circulation. So that would be right on the line pretty much between the yellow and the red. So that would put a potential tornado right on the county line between Louisa County and northern Des Moines County. I mean, really northeast Des Moines County, southeast Louisa County, crosses the river, and that line is pretty much the same across the river. So that would be extreme southern Mercer County, southwestern Mercer County, and extreme northwestern Henderson County. So if you are in this vicinity, say county line area of Mercer County and Henderson County, I'd take shelter now, because this is a pretty tight looking couplet, which indicates that there's a possible tornado there. So that is your first alert to that rotation as it makes its way pretty much east, maybe just a little bit north of east, but that's a pretty good eastward movement there, as it's going to be kind of strafing southern Mercer County. By the way, this warning is out till 8:15. We'll wait and see what happens. If this circulation stays robust, then a new tornado warning could certainly be issued for those areas. Yeah, and I'm looking here, and I kind of wanted to get a gauge on how this thing is holding up. You know, we showed earlier that 3D scan, and here we go. We're starting to see this, the tops of these. Here's 40,000 feet. They're climbing and climbing fast. So that means that we're going to see that expanded updraft, which that means
That's what supports the large hail, and that's also the area we watch for tornadic activity. Also to note here is you can see where all that rain and hail is falling, and right where we're seeing that circulation, that's called the rain-free base. There's no, you don't have that dense area like you do out to the east of this and to the west. Right here is where you've got most likely the area of rotation. We're watching that very closely, and I'm telling you folks, this is one, and it's in an area too. We keep talking about this, these favored areas that we are watching very closely. Eric.
Yeah, let's go north again. We'll take a look at this Joe Daviess County severe thunderstorm warning. Again, we've been tracking that hail course south of Galena, but that's going to be right over Elizabeth, in the vicinity of Elizabeth. This severe thunderstorm warning going till 8 o'clock, so a little time left on this. But again, there's that hail core, and that is right along Highway 20 and the kind of south central portion or southwest portion of Joe Daviess County. And if we can zoom into that one, there's also a second warning here, I think probably because that hail core was coming into the area. But there you go. We'll get Elizabeth on the map for you. Might be just north of Elizabeth, but on the way to Shapville. So in these areas, again, severe thunderstorm warning, so you get in shelter either way, but this one has a little bit of hail, and that's right on Highway 20 just as we speak here. Maybe just a little kind of around the Eagle Ridge Resort there. But again, this warning out till 8:45. This is not the bigger one. This is the smaller one. So yeah, we've got this till 8:45. So they've really extended this as this hail core and this torrential rain make their way into eastern portions of Joe Daviess County. So that one again goes till 8:45 as we pull out. Let's do the northern half of our area. Just a big view here, Teresa. You can widen out, put I-80 on the southern part of the screen, and there are active warnings for this part of the area. There you go. Again, looking at a hail core that is starting to diminish, but still severe thunderstorm warning, torrential rainfall, and some wind for portions of Clinton, western Scott County, and Cedar County. And again, what's left of our Carroll County severe thunderstorm warning, just that extreme northeast corner there. And now again, south of the Metro Quad Cities, we're looking at that Mercer County severe thunderstorm warning, hail core and some rotation kind of working its way east right along the county line. And as we go back a little farther west, it's those storms that have been around southern Bureau County that have some rotation. So again, we've had time to plan for this. You've got to execute that plan now. And if you're in the path of any of these storms, please, folks, take shelter.
Yeah, and I want to go back to this storm here into parts of Mercer County and near the Keithsburg area. We still see there's a definitive rotation very close to Keithsburg. If you're in Keithsburg, take shelter. Too close, I'd say, for comfort here. So we're watching that. Just looked at debris tracker. Not really seeing any debris with this, but we're going to keep a close eye on this. So what I do want to do is, now that we know where that potential circulation is, I am going to move this off to the east here. And yeah, we are at 8 o'clock, by the way. We want to let you know that you're watching KWQC TV6 here in Davenport, Iowa. I'm meteorologist Kyle Dickens, along with Chief Meteorologist Eric Maitland, Willie Mingles, and Teresa Bryant. We're keeping you updated on all the warnings. And here's one that we're watching now with the circulation. It is tagged tornado possible, but if you're in the Sunbeam area, 8:15, Alexis 8:27, and North Henderson about 8:30, that will be impacting you, Eric.
All right, yeah, that was a hail picture from Woodhull, Illinois, and just off I-74 there. And you can see the storms right there that was causing that hail to cover the ground. And again, more numerous reports of hail to the south, but we still have some hail cores to deal with off to the north. Right now, I just want to say that we really don't have any tornado warnings. We have severe thunderstorm warnings, and these are all I hate to say run-of-the-mill or regular severe thunderstorm warnings, but right now we're not looking at, within the TV6 viewing area, anything that is rotating. I should say anything that's a tornado, but we do have a little bit of rotation on radar, especially right here coming into Mercer County. So keep an eye on that. If you're near Keithsburg, you're getting hail now, and we're watching that for a possible tornado warning because it does have some rotation. But again, at this point, no tornado warnings per se, but all kinds of severe thunderstorm warnings, and still dangerous weather, especially along south of Interstate 80. Kyle?
Yeah, we got a flash flood warning. I can only assume that's going to be Henry and Bureau County. We'll get to that in a minute, but I'm very concerned about this. Keithsburg, you need to take shelter because it does look like the circulation is over town, okay? So what we're noticing here, I put the arrows to kind of represent. This is not one of the strongest circulations I've ever seen, but given the environment and the consistency that we've seen this, I would assume that we have at least the developing stages inches of a circulation and possible tornado here. And again, we are in the environment that is such that strong to even violent tornadoes can't be ruled out. And we did see that east of our area into the Chicagoland area. But you can see the winds kind of wrap around here. You get that the green represents winds moving towards the radar site up in the Quad Cities, red away, and that's where you kind of get that coupling of winds. You get that circulation there, and that's what we're concerned with. We continue to get warnings, but I'll back things up. New warning out to the west here for Louisa County. And yeah, flash flood warning, as we've been talking about, if you were with us just moments ago, I mentioned how we've seen, at least with radar estimates, maybe up to 3 inches of rain in short order here into central Bureau County. That includes the Princeton area. And again, look, we continue to have more
tornado
storms.
Warning.
Tornado warning.
It's coming out. I'm going to assume it's for that
it's gotta be.
Mercer County storm, but let me see.
Yeah, it's
you
got to
can
be,
beat me
because
to it.
I am concerned. I'm really, like I said,
Oh,
folks,
no, this is farther south. This is not even our viewing area.
Okay, just outside of our viewing area here, Clark, Scotland, and Van Buren counties. So
barely see it right
that is outside. But yeah, still, okay, here's an updated scan. You can see, yeah, Keithsburg area just to the east there. Continue with that circulation that we're watching closely. And again, here's the deal, folks. Even though you don't have a tornado warning technically, these warnings all pretty much consistently, if you're south of Highway 30, have been carrying these tornado possible tags. And so a couple areas there that we have to watch. I want to go back over to Bureau County because we were talking about that flash flood warning. The circulations that we were concerned with, a broad circulation just southeast of Princeton, in that area, that southeastern portion of Bureau County, you continue under a severe thunderstorm warning. The other circulation that we were concerned about has now moved out into the LaSalle, Peru, LaSalle County area. So not a concern for our viewing area, but I do want to watch here just southeast of Princeton. But you can tell where there is, wow, look at that. That's a very impressive, I wonder if that is what radar site, that is actually Lincoln. So wow, that's a very, we're probably going to sample here some very intense winds, at least aloft, and that's showing, yeah, 82 mile an hour
Debris? Any debris?
Any debris, we'll check here. But very intense circulation near Henry and Lakin, and there might be a little bit of a drop out there. So, and also more hail, too, and that does get into some of Bureau County. We were watching that other storm that was starting to develop into Henry County, and that thing has not really doing much. But right now, I think the biggest game in town is this storm just south of Bureau County, and this one now moving through Mercer County that continues with a little bit of a circulation and some hail.
All right, and as we go back to the radar, you know, we were talking about that flash flood warning that is for Bureau County, but take a look at the nature of this beast. I mean, these widespread heavy rain producing storms, and they're following each other. That's what we call training, one after the other. It's like these storms are kind of attached to a railroad track. So you get the torrential rainfall here, you get the torrential rainfall here. What's going to happen a little bit later this evening? This torrential rainfall moving right over those same spots. I mean, this one here is pretty much aimed right at that flash flood warning. So again, we were talking about this at 4 this afternoon being a possibility, with the fact that we were talking about some flooding as a possibility later tonight. But as I was mentioning, the way these storms could form in this more humid atmosphere, especially south, any of these storms could produce enough rainfall, either at the rate of rainfall or the fact that so much of the rain was falling from these rather long, elongated storms that we could get some flash flooding. And I don't think that this is the last flash flood warning we will see as we go through the rest of the evening here, especially south of Interstate 80. Still some torrential rainfall to deal with off to the north as well. We just stay right here on this shot, and we've still got the severe thunderstorm warning as hail starts to wind down in Joe Davis County. We've got this severe thunderstorm warning that's been adjusted now because the heaviest weather moving out of Cedar County, getting into southwestern Clinton County and western or northwestern Scott County. Also still have that potential circulation right over Keithsburg, along with a hail core and some torrential rain moving through Mercer County, even into southern Rock Island County as well. And then again, the flash flood warning and a few more warnings toward the Bureau County area and points east. And just to the southwest of Henry County, Iowa, you might be able to see it there. Maybe Teresa can lift that up just a little bit. Another tornado warning in southeast Iowa, just south and west of Henry County, Iowa. And the storm that's coming into Henry County, another storm here. It's got a hail core that's starting to downgrade, but again, that might cycle back up as this one moves to the east. And you can see it's kind of separating itself as this southern storm. Interesting to see here. This one becomes a little bit stronger. It's taking the moisture, it's translating it into heavy rain and even a larger hail. So it kind of cuts off the energy and the juice for this storm right here, which is starting to get a little bit smaller. So that's a radar roundup of what we've got going on. So again, things to watch out for: hail, lightning. That's easier to see now that it's dark or getting to be dark. I think it is dark now. And then, of course, the torrential rainfall that could cause some flooding issues. Kyle?
Yeah, so I've got kind of a unique look here. This is the velocity. This is showing the rotations within these storms. Very notable there, just south of Bureau County here, Putnam County, Marshall County line there. That continues on, tornado warning there, but you can see that it acts a little bit different than the rest of this. This part up in Bureau County moved a little bit more northeast. This part splitting off and moving more east. It's that boundary is most likely right in this area here, but there's still some broad circulation. I'm not too concerned with it in Bureau County. I think Bureau County, the tornado threat, at least for now, is outside of the county. It's going to be focused here in the Henry, Illinois area, Marshall County, southern portions of Putnam County as well. But then again, the other storm that we're watching and will eventually once again impact Knox County, Henry County, Mercer County, at least eastern portions of Mercer County, is this one here, and it's developing. And you'll notice here kind of how it's been acting over the last several scans, and you're seeing an increase in the colors. The colors are starting to brighten up, and we're starting to see a little bit more red mixing in, which is a sign that that rotation is increasing. And again, we're going to continue to see these rotations. Even though we do have some rain-cooled air, temperatures in this area, it's 52 in Moline, it's still 65 in Kewanee. Interestingly enough, it's 48 in Princeton, but you go down to Peoria, it's 77 degrees. Huge clash in air masses here, and that is what is really fueling this. But look at that big spike there, Mercer County, Eric, that last scan. So we continue to kind of take this scan by scan. If you're in southern Mercer County, definitely want to keep things keep on the storm, because I'm concerned about it. We continue to watch that potential for some circulation. Might be more of a hail spike. I think just maybe some bad data there, right. Hopefully. But nonetheless, south of Aledo, at least some broad circulation at this time, just to be safe. I'm going to check the correlation coefficient. Yeah, nothing there. And we're close enough to radar. If we had a tornado, we would see that debris most likely get lofted. But looks like it is certainly kind of doing what that other storm was doing that had that more well-defined circulation with the tornado into Marshall County, and it's continuing a little bit more easterly. So the storms that track a little bit more easterly seem to be kind of riding that front, and those are the storms that we have to watch for that tornado potential. But nonetheless, still some hail with this as well, still some large hail.
Well, why don't you move that, push it to the left a little bit, because you're getting the WISA info.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. There you go. Okay, so Mercer County till 8:45. I just want to make sure people in Mercer County knew that warning goes till 8:45.
Yeah, absolutely. And so here's what happened there. We did have two cells right there merge. Typically when we see this, it does weaken a little bit. Now it's going to kind of reorganize. But that is concerning. That's not, you don't like that to happen, because what tends to happen is when those two cells merge, they start gaining their strength, and it's got a lot of energy down here. I mean, again, we're upper 70s just to the south of this. Lots of humidity too for that to work with. So we'll continue to watch that. Again, hail threat, and again, we'll watch for those circulations too as this continues to track through Mercer County. And once again, the Route 67 corridor, Aledo, you're getting pounded again with heavy rainfall, maybe some hail there too. Keithsburg, I feel like has been kind of between Keithsburg, Kewanee, Galva, and up towards Princeton. Those areas, that has been the focal point of all this thunderstorm activity and significant thunderstorm activity. But Henry County, Woodhull to Cambridge, heads up, that's going to be eventually making its way into your area. I'll broaden things out just one more time, Eric, before we take it back to you. Again, those storms in Bureau County. Bureau County starting to see things weaken a little bit. We'll watch this storm out here into Mercer County to see that's going to kind of be the next big thing. But look at all this thunderstorm development that's occurred. We do have that one here in Scott County and Clinton County weakening quite a bit, but we do have other storms that we'll be keeping a close eye on here north of that boundary where hail is more of a threat, Eric.
Yeah, and that's what I want to do. I want to take a look at the whole big picture. Teresa, if you could maybe loosen this up a little bit so we can get south of Highway 34 in there. You can go tighter. I mean, fill the screen with our viewing area. Keep coming in, and center it up. There we go, a little bit, maybe just to zoom in a little bit more. I just want to show a few things. First of all, in Henry County, Iowa, there you see this thunderstorm. This looks to be weakening. Again, we're explaining this storm down southwest of it. It's kind of cutting off the energy and the juice to it. But again, you still have, perhaps for southern Henry County, Iowa, that little hail core will move through. Maybe pea-size hail, maybe marble-size hail, not the biggest hail, but that's something to watch out for. You might want to take shelter now just in case you're not in a warning. As far as warnings are concerned out toward Bureau County, flash flood warning right along and south of I-80. That does include Princeton. And then we do have that severe thunderstorm warning, tornado or damage possible with the southern tier of Bureau County that juts out to the south, involved in that. Then we go back up to western Clinton, western Scott County, eastern Cedar County. That storm really weakening as it moves off to the north and east, and then we're still looking up toward Joe Davis County, and that storm, more of just a heavy rain threat right now. Looks like the hail cores have weakened, and there is the hail, but it is starting to diminish in size. And then after that, with everything here to the north, just let this run for a second, T, and notice that we have all these storms here, obviously, south of Interstate 80, widespread rain, very heavy rain, a lot of energy, a lot of hail. But look at what's the trend seems to be north of Interstate 80. Even though we still have a few warnings and we still have a few storms that will move into these areas, and this one's starting to gain a little strength outside of Iowa City. Generally, these are starting to weaken. I mean, they're getting their energy cut off. We're past sunset here. We'll keep monitoring these because we still have the active warnings. This is one I'm interested in. This is a little bit farther south, and you see that hail core. Remember that previous storm we were talking about around Iowa City and Coralville. Started off with a little gray hail core, and then it became a more deeper blue hail core, and then it kind of faded away. But this is the next one, kind of in that same area. We'll see what that one does. New scan here takes that hail core right over northwestern Muscatine County, southwestern Cedar County, and again, it's kind of moving a little north of due east, but generally we're looking at more rainy thunder showers up here right now, as opposed to storms, even though some of those warnings are still in existence. But again, we'll keep an eye on what happens to the north, and certainly we're still managing to keep an eye on what happens south. And there you go, again, that warning, did that warning just get upgraded a little bit for southern Mercer County? I see that's now orange, so that would be tornado possible.
Yeah, tornado possible. And I want
to, as we get that hail core starting to weaken, but let's take a deeper dive into that one.
I was just going to say, Eric, what is actually, I think, happening here, if we, and I'll show you this over here, Eric, you can see with the merging of the cells, this updraft, this is about as perfect of a depiction of what happens when two storm cells merge. Updraft number one out here northeast of Keithsburg starting to collapse, while updraft just northwest of Keithsburg is starting to build. So you got one weakening, one building, and so it's kind of a handoff here. And with that happening, I'm also noticing some much more notatable rotation here as well. As we got that green, that pool of red, which represents, again, red winds moving away from the radar, green towards. When you start to get those to match up, it indicates that spin in the atmosphere or the spin inside the clouds, and could indicate that, yes, we have a tornado or a rotation certainly developing here, and that's what we're seeing here. That is why they've upgraded that warning to now say tornado possible here for southern parts of Mercer County. So we'll continue to watch that. Some other areas that at least maybe some gusty winds, damaging winds possible here. We'll take a look at, kind of sample some of the winds. Yeah, 65 mile an hour winds here, just near the Sunbeam area, just south of Aledo. We're also picking up maybe 52 mile an hour winds. So several areas there, as that thing is like I said, it is cycling, might have two areas of potential rotation. And you can see what happened here is we had those two storm cells merge, and now what we have is one big giant storm that continues on. And here's the other thing I want to talk about is why we're concerned about this. Look at off to the southeast of this. So you still got air flowing into the storm. You've got nothing down here. It's wide open and could pull in all that remaining heat and moisture and keep this thing going. So we'll be watching that very closely. Another storm too getting going once again south of Mount Pleasant. No warning, but we're watching that. That storm in southern parts of Iowa, northern Missouri has got some intense circulation. And then out here into Marshall County, just south of our viewing area, we still continue with that very impressive circulation. Tornado warnings out there. flash flood warning here in Bureau County. But again, I think my attention right now, at least for my biggest concerns, are going to be this one here moving through Mercer County, Eric.
Yeah, let's go back to Bureau County too, and we'll show you some of the areas involved in this flash flood warning. And you can see it did get extended a little bit farther to the east. And again, torrential rainfall. If it's safe to take pictures, boy, we'd like to see what kind of flooding we're getting there. And as Kyle mentioned before, this is an area where we could have gotten, based on radar estimates, 3+ inches of rain, although that might be possibly a little hail contaminated. The radar sees hail as one big raindrop, and if you have multiple hailstones falling, that could kind of trick the radar. But nonetheless,
Wow.
I mean, easily 1 inch to 2 inches of rain, I'd certainly believe that. And then 2 to 3 is still within the realm of possibility. This flash flood warning goes until midnight, and again, you're going to get a little bit of a break from the rain as you are in much of western Bureau County and southern Bureau County. Princeton, though, you're about to get another little blast of rain there to add insult to injury, I guess. But as we widen on out, again, what is concerning us for the most part right now is back towards southeast Iowa. And as we kind of zoom in on this area here, southeast Iowa, west central Illinois, Teresa, if we kind of fill the screen with that and a little bit farther south, maybe just look at where that storm with the tornado warning is. There you go, perfect. This storm here that's heading toward Donaldson in Lee County, again, it's a tornado storm here with a very large hail core. And again, that is moving to the east. That's going to clip Donaldson. And then it has the potential of going into Fort Madison, and from there, right through southern portions of Henderson and Warren County, might even get that southern tip of Des Moines County, south of Burlington. So still a lot of things to be on the lookout for in parts of our viewing area. And again, if you see any lightning, you want to get indoors. If any of these storms approach your area, I mean, they're certainly capable of hail and torrential rainfall and lightning. All of these are reasons that you want to get inside. Yep. So again, have that plan ready to go. We still have an evening's worth, at least half an evening's worth here of some strong storms to get to. Go back over to Kyle.
Yeah.
He's making some noises.
Look at
so
this.
I'm a little concerned about what he's thinking
well,
about.
Thankfully, this is just outside the viewing area, but you want to talk about impressive. You want to know where the tornado is. Look at that big dropout right there, just southwest of Magnolia. They did put a tornado warning out for Putnam County, so that is a very concerning deal. This is in an area that is so favorable for the tornadic activity. I have no doubt that that's going to continue on as it moves into LaSalle County. So again, that's just outside of our viewing area, but I know we've got people with interest down there. We do continue to watch this here into Mercer County, as again, those two cells merged. Still at a little bit of a weak point, but it is certainly trying. It's kind of been an interesting thing to watch as this is trying to do something here. We got the increasing outbound winds, with the winds moving away from the radar, so that might be some outflow, but at the same time it's trying to tuck that inflow winds back into it as well. But at this point, I can tell you this, just based off of what we're seeing, the circulations that we were concerned with, much weaker. So still severe thunderstorm warning, and I think we're still carrying some pretty heavy hail with that. Even the hail course kind of weakened a little bit, but Alito, get ready for some probably some pea-sized hail, maybe dime-sized hail. The Viola area, still a dangerous storm, but that circulation not as notable as it once was. You can see Mount Pleasant area, you're getting into some heavy rain right now as well. We continue to track that storm. Not the most impressive, but again, something that we're going to continue to watch out there. So Mount Pleasant's been another area that seems to have been hit with several rounds of storms here. Up to the north, nothing at this time severe, but it looks like we've got a new cell that might bring it into the Quad City Metro here just near the West Liberty area, and it is acting a little different, a little bit more easterly movement on this. Something developing there, nothing significant now, but here's the deal. You don't want to be in these, even if it's small hail. You got very heavy rainfall, torrential downpours within these that could cause some blinding driving conditions. You don't want to be driving, especially in this stretch of I-80 here in western Cedar County and just north of the West Liberty area. So we're watching that. We got a new severe thunderstorm warning. I'll back out and see where that was.
That's Carroll County and
Base level,
Clinton, Jackson, Carroll, Geodavies.
And this will be for 1 inch hail. So yeah, Savannah up towards eventually the Lanark area into northern Carroll County. We'll be watching that, but radar not really picking up much there with a hail core of really any sort there, but something that we're keeping a close eye on. And then Dubuque County, seeing that storm there. I wonder what the Dubuque camera looks like it just got a lot of rain there, it looks like. So, yeah, so, we continue with that. We're watching that. But again, right now, I'd still think that the storm here into Mercer County, it's still something to watch, but it's not the most impressive, weakening a little bit here. So that's some good news. But nonetheless, we're still going to be here watching it because we still carry that tornado possible tag. But they did, you notice there, they brought down that hail to 1 inch in diameter, which is base level severe thunderstorm warning. So again, we're going to continue to watch that as that continues to track off to the east-northeast. I'll put a path on that since that is the storm that, at least at this point, we're watching that has at least the best potential for maybe doing something a little bit more significant. Again, maybe still we got to watch that rotation potential. But Viola 8:30, Orion at 8:51, Cambridge about top of the hour here, about 9 o'clock. That'll be moving in. Eventually, again, some of the same areas that have been hit by round after round of storms, Galva, Kewanee, and then eventually off into Atkinson, maybe just after 9 o'clock there. So we'll watch that closely as that continues to move east and a little bit northeast, but right now that's the main cell that we're watching. And again, we'll keep an eye on this one here that has its eyes set close to the metro up here into Muscatine, Cedar County. A little weaker, but again, still an environment where hail is possible here north of I-80.
Yeah, I wanted to take a closer look at two storms. That one that you were just mentioning in Cedar County. Let's just go there and zoom in on that one, Teresa, and we'll get a look at this one because it did have that hail core still dropping in intensity, but that hail core, just whatever is left of it right on Interstate 80. And you can see that it does dip into northern Muscatine County. Talking about this storm right here, moving east and weakening a little bit more of a heavy rain threat. And then we drop down to Henry County, Iowa, and check out, again, that cell that was starting to weaken in Mount Pleasant. There we go. Yeah, again, this storm has got hail right over Salem, perhaps, small hail. Maybe just pea-size hail at that. But again, this one kind of being cut off by the stronger storm just off to its south and west. So we're looking at some fairly heavy rain there. And then as we back on out to show the whole viewing area, really at this point, things are kind of winding down except for that new severe thunderstorm warning that we had here that we just showed you. But again, down toward Mercer County, still monitoring that storm. A little bit of spin, not a classic rotation. It's a little convoluted, but nonetheless, it is kind of tagged up with a hail core there, so that gives it a little bit more credence to watch. And as we move farther east, our flash flood warning for Bureau County, again, heavy torrential rain really through a couple of cells and more cells on the way from the west. So eventually that will replace your little break that you're getting now in western Bureau County, southern and northern Bureau County. And then as we move out a little bit farther, there you see what's happening to the east, which isn't in our area. But again, that flash flood warning goes right up to the county line and extends to the east, I believe it's LaSalle County there. And again, what's still left of this severe thunderstorm warning, really it's gone. It's out of Bureau County now. So even though you see the information on the screen there, it's all out of that little corner of Bureau County. So that warning is not one that is in the viewing area at this point. And as we just widen out as a whole and show you the entire TV6 viewing area, yeah, we've got some showers and thunderstorms right now. Nothing too heavy. The newest one, again, was up for Carroll County, parts of Jackson and Clinton County in Iowa. And again, you can kind of see the trend here. I was kind of looking at these cells here. These, I'll just call them the Three Sisters for you, south of Iowa City. They popped up, looked like they wanted to do something, and they have just stalled. They're right where they were a while ago and just kind of holding their own. If anything, maybe weakening in the remnants of that storm that's in West Liberty, northern Muscatine County into Cedar County. And again, right now, it's more of a kind of torrential rain threat at this point. We'll just kind of see what happens with these warnings to the north. I think we might not have a whole bunch more to look at. And are we indeed starting to see this become more of a cold front in southeast Iowa as it moves east and pushes these storms with it? Then there's still a little bit of a wind threat with those, but hail not too impressive at this point. Still holding on to that Mercer County storm is probably the most impressive, and it's not that impressive as we are looking at it right now, except for the torrential rain. Boy, look at the metro. You know, we had that one storm go through earlier with the marble-size hail, and that storm out of the area now, out of the viewing area. But since then, we've had pretty much a break outside of a little bit of rain. Although I do look now to the east of the metro tree, so let's go in northern Henry County, Illinois, southern Whiteside County, and that little storm there is starting to have a little hail core try to build. So that's another thing that we'll keep an eye on here just north of Atkinson there. This looks like it's got a motion toward another triple line point here. Southern Whiteside County, northeastern Henry County, and northwestern Bureau County, right where that little hail core. I'm 2 for 2 tonight. Yeah. A new severe thunderstorm warning right here. Here you go. This is till 9 p.m. for Bureau, Henry, and Whiteside County. This is why people probably want to have me off the air. This happens too much. I'm pointing at a storm and they warn for it right on the air. But again, this will be for hail, an inch in diameter, 50 plus mile per hour winds, maybe a little less than 50. But again, this is kind of one of those nuisance storms, and these are still popping up here. So if you're in these areas, again, south of Sterling, south of Interstate 88, west of Walnut, north of Atkinson, take shelter because it is a severe thunderstorm warning. It is moving your way, and this one goes till 9 o'clock. Al?
Yeah, let's real quick here. So I just want to go. This is another one that's just kind of outside the viewing area, but we have an observed tornado here near the Keithsburg area. We got to watch because, again, an environment, and I just looked to, and Eric, I'll point you to the direction of a mesoscale discussion that just came out from the Storm Prediction Center, and they talked about this area, and they talked about really that southern half that's under that tornado watch for our region, and just continuing on. You know, as we've kind of been mentioning, we do feel like this threat will continue until that cold front moves through. The dynamics, and even some things showing that really between 8 and 10 o'clock, some of the low-level shear, which is what makes storms spin, is at its highest. So we got to watch. I mean, all these storms have that potential, and that's why we are taking this seriously tonight. And right now, here between Clark, Scotland, Van Buren County, somewhere here, I think just south of Keithsburg, we're getting confirmed reports of a tornado on the ground. So Burlington, that's to your southwest. I think it'll stay southwest of you, but something that we have to watch. And once again, and this is kind of the other thing too we talked about, is we saw this was at a weak point just a few scans ago. This is the storm in Mercer County now. So just to the east of Aledo, heading towards Henry County. And you can see, as I'll put it in motion here, weekend, but now, boom, we've got that development of another hail core here to the east of Aledo. It's getting ready to cross. It'll move pretty much right over top of Viola. So we'll see what we've got there for hail. I bet you we're back up to, it says walnut-sized hail. So that's starting to get up there in size and will become dangerous nonetheless. And that will be crossing. Over, again, Route 67 here momentarily. So we continue to watch that very closely, and also continue to watch that tornado warning to our south. I want to look too and see, because one thing that we were concerned with was that potential for some circulations here, and it's broad. I'm not seeing anything too significant at this time, but again, we are noticing here a little bit of a change in the structure of the storm where, yeah, we might have a little bit of a split going on here. We got a couple different, looks like you got the reds there, which would represent outflow winds, and still some inflow winds there. If that can kind of couple together, we might see a development of circulation. But the one thing, at least at this point, that's going to be concerning for this storm is the heavy rain, lightning, and again, the increasing hail size with this as this continues to move towards Henry County, Illinois, once again. So that area has been kind of the corridor of activity. But that severe thunderstorm warning, tag tornado possible too, continues till 8:45, so about another 15 minutes here. And then, of course, that new severe thunderstorm warning here for Bureau, Henry, Whiteside County. We continue to watch that. And then last thing here too, before we take it back to Eric, is this storm west of the Quad Cities. It does show a little bit of a hail core here, kind of near West Liberty, Wilton area. Nothing severe level at this point, but that could impact at least the northern part of the metro here within the hour.
If you have a backyard rain gauge, we'd love to get your reports of anything that you might have had so far throughout this episode, which continues and will continue, especially south of Interstate 80. You can see as we kind of look at this storm line here, and we've got that severe thunderstorm warning that just came out for for portions of Whiteside, Henry, and Bureau County. That line, this still has to cover the south and southeast portion of the viewing area. So this is still on the move, and you can still see that hail core that Kyle was just talking about, kind of recycling. And that's what we've been mentioning. These hail cores will get rather robust. They'll weaken a little bit, then they'll cycle right back up again. So we've got those counties to look at. We'll continue to see if anything grows a little bit stronger back here. And again, Kyle just mentioned that one in Cedar County. But you see, we still have these active warnings, so that's kind of another line of formation. A little bit of a different beast up here because we're north of the warm front and the more intense activity that's taking place to the south. But again, these still have to move all the way through areas just maybe in the northern metro Quad Cities, through that, and then through Whiteside and Carroll County as they move to the east as well. And these are starting to show maybe a little bit of sign of they want to turn to the east. But again, our main game right now is just keeping an eye on this storm here with a little bit of rotation. It's been rather ragged, but it is there. So we just want to keep monitoring that. Storm warnings in the area right now, we're down to 2, except, well, actually 3, and the flash flood warning that's still in effect for Bureau County. This goes till midnight, but even if we get more rain from this cell here, which we will, to aggravate that flooding, whatever is happening, that goes till midnight, and a lot of times we see those canceled prior to their original expiration time. Looks like they just tightened up the warning here in Mercer County. You can see that's now the back edge, kind of following that hail core, which again has become a little bit more impressive over the last few minutes. We've got that darker blue there. Maybe we can get a tighter shot of that there, T, and we'll go in and take a look at the velocity from this one. There is the hail core south of Aledo, northwest of Alexis, about to cross Highway 67. And if we can go to, there you go, the velocity. Again, you can kind of almost see that little counterclockwise rotation within the mesocyclone, but any other distinct couplets there, I'm not really seeing much of anything, maybe toward the eastern part of the county there, but again, that's rather convoluted. So it looks like maybe it's certainly losing the structure that it had even just a while back, a short while back. Kyle?
Yeah, actually, with this storm, look at this. This is impressive. So we've been talking about the storm tops on these, and this one about 40,000 feet. But look at, we've got that hail core that has formed, and look at it's when we look at this and we see that that is closer to the ground. You can see just about 10,000 feet off the surface. That's where those pinks are. That represents that hail core. But look at how it kind of spikes right there. That's where that updraft is. Very good indication of where that is, and it's right over top of Viola. So I bet you here in Viola before long, if not right now, you're probably getting into some of that large hail, and you could see that that where we cut that on the 3D radar, it does show that, and it shows an increase in hail size. We'll pin that down here, and it's up to walnut size once again.
A lot of lightning with that storm.
Yeah, and of course, Eric, yeah, look at, wow, yeah, a lot of lightning with that. When we see that increase in lightning, it does show that most likely things are increasing here. So we'll go back to, I'll get the radar view back here, and we could show, again, there's that hail. And again, I want to reiterate something too I keep talking about. There's nothing here. So the temperatures in Macomb, 77 degrees, 74 Burlington. So as this activity moves up towards Burlington, it's got nothing really stopping it from continuing to be significant. So we'll watch that. But going back into this Mercer County storm, as it will get closer and closer to the Henry County area, once again, we put that in motion. It's trying to do something here. It's very, very broad. It's not we'd be concerned that, tornado imminent yet, but it's trying to organize, and we notice that with that increasing updraft with the hail. And again, just northeast of Viola, it looks like that green is trying to tuck in with the red. You can see on our camera there, look at that lightning. We're really starting to see some lightning here as well. That is looking off. Let me get a good idea of where that, that's to our south and west. That is facing the storm, actually. So we're looking looking towards that. And so, yeah, like you said, Eric, with a lot of lightning. And let's actually, what we'll do here, I'll put this, I'm going to do something here, and we'll get lightning on, and we could actually put a tracker on how much lightning we've had, and that gives us a good indication. Are we seeing an increase in activity? Most likely we are. So 174 strikes here within just the last 10 minutes, and it is increasing. So, so we have an intensifying storm here, and again, circulation too within that. Very broad, very, very broad, but something we'll watch very closely as this continues to move into Henry County here over the next several minutes.
All right, back to a storm that's approaching from the west, and this one, as you go down Interstate 80, you'll see this next storm that we've been talking a little bit about. Looks like it's making a little bit of a turn to the east, or trying to anyway, and there's a little hail core just right outside of Wilton, probably on top of Wilton right now. Not that impressive, but again, it's something we'll watch. Again, one of these reasons why, if you had plans on going east or west on Interstate 80 tonight, not recommended over the next, certainly the last couple of hours, but even maybe the next hours. We still have some torrential rainfall to deal with. But again, this storm here, I'm just kind of curious. It looks like it just got caught up to by a smaller area of rain. I don't think that's any rotation that we have to worry about. But again, you can see that this is pretty heavy rain. This is going to start crossing the Highway 30 corridor around and west of DeWitt. Wheatland just getting out of a pretty good shower there, a pretty good torrential rainstorm. Highway 30 right there. We're looking at the Metro Quad Cities. Well, we can't really see too much of it, but there it is right there, as we are kind of in a lull here for the Metro. Again, we've had a chance to dry out with much more activity just south in Mercer County, and then the scattering of storms to the north. But there you go with our Mercer County hail core. Again, that is getting to that color now where we're looking at maybe egg-size hail to tennis ball size hail, at least the potential. But if you're another place you don't want to be is traveling along Highway 67 right now, north or south. This one, boy, kind of splitting between Aledo and Alexis on the way toward Woodhull. We've had plenty of hail reports from Woodhull tonight. But again, this storm here, the hail core of it looks like it's just going to jump out of this warning box and get right into adjacent portions of southern Henry County, Illinois. So Woodhull, looks like we've got some hail coming your way. Cambridge, you might be strafed by that. You'll be right on the northern edge, and you can see Sherrard to the north, just getting some heavy rain right now, just for kind of orientation sakes. But again, as this continues to move east, this is another storm. We've got a long way to go with this one. It's got to go through Henry County, then Bureau County, I think our longest east to west county, so we'll just continue to track that as well. But this severe thunderstorm warning, you see the orange, indicating that the hail size here could produce destructive results and a tornado possible as well. But at this point when this was warned, we had inch in diameter hail, might be spiking a little bit right now, but that Mercer County severe thunderstorm warning goes, as you can see on the screen, until 8:45. And as we come on out, Teresa will be showing you quickly, before we go back to Kyle, what we are dealing with in terms of other severe thunderstorm warnings. First of all, flash flood warning for Bureau County. But again, this storm warning with a little bit of hail right up in extreme northeastern Henry County, Illinois. That will be tracking into northwest Bureau County and then southeast to Whiteside County. Also severe thunderstorm warning right up here for Carroll County, as that storm seems to be losing some organization, but nonetheless, right now you're getting heavy rain, and look what's behind it. That storm we were just talking about in Cedar County. That might just come very close after moving through DeWitt and Clinton to that warned area in Carroll County. Maybe this one moves through southern Carroll County within about the next 60 minutes. Kyle?
Yeah, still, I think at this point, actually, that's what I was going to talk about, was the hail. Right near Viola here, we're picking up now golf ball-sized hail. So continues to slowly strengthen. What's interesting about this is the wind. And again, we focus on this. We want to watch this because this is what's going to show us where those rotation is. And we've got some areas of very, very broad rotation, but nonetheless, it's something that's still worth watching. And again, we look at a couple things. We look at the environment it's in. We keep talking about that. Nothing really to kind of choke off the inflow to the storm. And it keeps increasing. The hail size just kind of jumped up there again here south of Viola here along Route 67. So that's where the most significant hail is. And I think this is the strongest hail that we are seeing right now within the viewing area, at least at this time. So we continue to watch that. But again, still have the environment in place where circulation is still very possible, or circulations within inside these storms. So that tornado potential not over yet. That tornado watch, in fact, goes till 11 o'clock for a reason. And that's because it probably will be until 10, 11 o'clock when we can finally get the ingredients out of our region, or things start to really settle down. So we will be watching that. But do want to keep an eye out here into the Mount Pleasant area, because I've been noticing this storm It's trying to do something, not really quite there yet, but you notice here just west of Danville, maybe a broad circulation southeast of Mount Pleasant. Again, that's southeastern Henry County, also into Des Moines County. We're going to watch that, but I do want to mention this too, this storm down here that will impact Lee County, Iowa. We do have some viewers down there, and we want to give you the first alert to West Point, Fort Madison, up towards maybe as far north as Burlington. Burlington, I think this will be a concern for you, but just east of Mount Sterling, very strong indication. In fact, we have an observed tornado down there in Clark, Scotland, Van Buren County. That is, that's some bad data that just came through for the radar. It does not look like that. That is impressive, but we will skip over that and go back to our reflectivity, which shows how heavy the rain is. And you can see the thing to note here, where you have the tornadic supercell, you've got hail. I bet you that's probably baseball-sized hail there that we're seeing with that. And then, of course, this hail core here, eastern Mercer County. I bet here before long, probably within the next couple minutes, we're going to see at least a severe thunderstorm warning. It should be a severe thunderstorm warning for southwestern Henry County. This might take up at least up to the I-80, so the Big X area, maybe as far north as Geneseo, Cambridge. New tornado warning got extended there with that cell. That's going to be for Lee County, Iowa, just outside of our viewing area. But if you follow the path here, Burlington, I'd be concerned that might bring it into the southern part of our viewing area. So we're still concerned about that. Going back up to the north here, these cells west of the metro, elevated, not really, not severe, but they do have heavy rain, lightning, and some small hail with them. We'll be watching that. But again, right now, I will say, and I'd be totally shocked if we don't see momentarily an extension of that severe thunderstorm warning here into Henry County, Andover, down to the route, Highway 74, Interstate 74, I should say, corridor here. Again, south of Geneseo, west of Kewanee, we'll probably see that extended here before long.
Yeah, and probably should put that behind me on the screen, because then the warning will pop up. That's just the way it goes, right?
That's your luck, right?
Yeah, and I just wanted to show you what we've been looking at with these torrential rainstorms off to the south of Interstate 80. Look at some of these amounts. Now, you might say give or take I should really say take half an inch to an inch on some of these amounts because of the hail, especially in this corridor here. But man, no wonder we're getting that flash flood warning, and we might have more before the evening is out. Anywhere between, I'd say, 2.5, 3 inches of rain. And the way these storms were moving, not that fast, 45 miles per hour or so, but the breadth and scope of that torrential rain, yeah, no wonder we've gotten those amounts. So keep aware if you're in a flood-prone area or you're near a creek that rises pretty quickly when it rains heavily in these areas south of I-80. That might be the case tonight. And then pretty representative of what we're getting north of Interstate 80, storms with about an inch. They've had a little bit of hail, but I would say anywhere from, and I didn't sample all of these, but I would say anywhere from 3/4 of an inch to maybe an inch and a quarter for areas to the north. And that's just kind of the way that we realized things would set up a while back. I mean, days back, we'd get the warm, humid air off to the south, and we would get this much needed rain. But then to the north, this would cut off a lot of that activity, and we'd see that small hail, or that smaller threat of hail farther north, a little bit higher hail threat along and just north of I-80. But then to the south here, we look at where we're so deep into the warm sector that we really didn't have storms form in southern Knox County, southern Henderson, southern Warren, so no rainfall, much of any consequence, at least down there yet. But you can certainly see the corridor of our strongest storms here south of Interstate 80 and our more scattered storms off to the north. And as we go back to Kyle, I think he's got more.
I do. I want to talk about this. This is not in our viewing area. This is out east into northwestern Indiana. I don't know the last time I've seen where we got a PDS, particularly dangerous. It's a tornado emergency, but that tag catastrophic. Mm-hmm. So somewhere in there within this here, this is again northwest Indiana. Towns of Oregon, Plymouth are in the path. Knox is in the path of this, again outside the viewing area, but there is a very destructive tornado with that, and that might be the storm that impacted the Kankakee area, which we are hearing reports. Kankakee, Illinois had a very destructive tornado move through, so we want to watch that, and we're going to continue to follow that. We're going to continue to follow that coverage here. Excuse me, as my just to let you know, I've lost my IFB, so I cannot hear the booth, but I will tell you right now that new warning that we were talking about here just got issued for Henry County. So extreme eastern Mercer County, but rest of Henry County, all the way up to the border of Bureau County. So Kewanee, Kewanee, Woodhull, Cambridge, Galva, you folks are in this, but this is a base level severe thunderstorm warning. So you got damaging winds, maybe up to 60 miles an hour. Circulation did come down a little bit, and I've noticed that too. They took that tornado possible tag off, but we could see up to quarter-sized hail with that as well. Again, some of the same areas that were impacted though. Woodhull, Galva, Kewanee, you are now in this warning.
All right, hey, we have a tornado warning that's been extended again into Lee County here. This goes till 9:45, and this includes a threat for Donaldson, a threat for Fort Madison. If this storm continues on this trajectory, again, we get into southern Des Moines County, south of Burlington, and then we cross the river into southern Henderson and Warren. But look at that hail core. There again, we're getting those widespread. We're getting those colors that indicate hail size of at least 2 inches. Again, this is a tornado warning that goes till 9:45. If we could go over to velocity trees and see if we can see any rotation here. Very far from the radar site, but we might be able to spot something hooked to that updraft that's creating that hail. Oh yeah, there you go. There's the green,
wow,
there's the red. That's going toward Davenport radar. That's going away. So definitely a circulation there that is working its way right toward Donaldson. Again, so we do have people in Lee County that watch us. We thank you for that. You're not out of our viewing area if you can get our signal, or you can watch us. So we just want to give you the heads up right here along Highway 2 from Farmington to Donaldson. This is an area where we've got very tight circulation. That is an impressive couplet in terms of bad weather. I mean, we don't want to see these, but we've got one here. So that's why we have that tornado warning that's been issued all the way till 9:45. And again, this storm, as we zoom out a little bit, we'll see the trajectory again. We'll take it, if you extend this box, this warning box right here, you'll see that it extends through southern Lee County into southern Henderson and Warren County across the river into Illinois. So that's what we're going to be looking at for a while here, because again, to the south, there's not much going on. So this is getting that nice fuel, that moist air, that unstable air, that inflow from areas that haven't been robbed of their energy from prior storms. So that's something we're going to keep an eye on there. And again, it's part of that line, that storm north of Burlington that we looked at. It looked like it was going to do something, that it faded away through Henry County a little bit. Now, after it jumped up in strength again, it's starting to fade away north of Burlington. So northern Des Moines County, you're in for some thunder shower activity, we'll say that. And again, we're still looking at this hail core that we've been following all across Mercer County and Louisa County, even northern Henry County, Iowa. In this severe thunderstorm warning for southern Henry County, Illinois, and extreme eastern Mercer County, a lot of lightning there. This one continues to move to the east, and this severe thunderstorm warning will continue for, I think that one went till, I want to say 9:15. Might even be longer than that, 9:45. Okay, all right, yeah, because it's got a long way to go. At this speed, it's still got to cross all of southern Henry County and head from areas around Alpha, maybe just south of Alpha, right toward Kewanee. So another storm for you folks in Kewanee to get ready for, along Highway 34 and then crossing 34 once you're east of Galva and you make that turn into Kewanee. So that severe thunderstorm warning goes till 9:45. There's what's left of our other severe thunderstorm warning. Looks like the hail is kind of right in the center of that box there in southeastern Carroll County, or I should say southeastern Whiteside County. And there you go, as we get that just south of Tampico there. A little hail, a lot of lightning, but again, it looks like it's starting to fade away. And once it gets into the next county over, it will be out of our viewing area. That warning does go till 9 o'clock, so just a few minutes on that one left, along with some pretty heavy rain. Again, we've been seeing that area-wide, some hefty rainfall rates, and even some hefty totals south of I-80. We just showed you those totals around 3 inches or so. And as we look a little bit farther north again, looks like we're in the clear for Joe Davies County, but we still have some storms that will bear watching. Again, watch what happens here in Cedar County. Those pop up also into western Scott County, northwestern Scott County, if you will. We've got that cell there. And that hail core, it's hanging on. It's right over Interstate 80 again, and it's really been moving east along 80 from just west of Wilton. So that's going to get us into northern Scott County, and again, just kind of a scattering of storms. All need to be watched, especially the ones south of I-80. Kyle?
Yeah, so we go back to that storm that has that tornado warning here in Lee County, Iowa, just outside of our viewing area, but it's got its eyes set on portions of the viewing area. You could tell, I mean, this is one of the two cells that we've seen, and both have produced tornadoes that have made it up to 50,000 feet. It's pretty impressive this time of year to get a storm to climb that high. So no surprise that we've got a circulation, what appears to be a tornado, along with some very large hail with that, because that is this time of year, really any time of the year, getting a storm to climb that high is pretty impressive. But the hail on that continues to be very significant, and no doubt, you know, if this continues east, Fort Madison certainly going to be in a pretty dire straits here as that continues off to the east and continues to strengthen. It might just go south of Burlington, but Burlington, I'd stay weather aware here over the next hour or so as we do continue to see that thing move. But I bet you at this point we're probably up to or approaching baseball-sized hail with that. Billiard ball-sized hail. First time I've seen it say that. And it always comes up with some of the most interesting things to size these hailstones. But billiard ball-sized hail moving towards Farmington. So we'll watch that. Looking at that rotation. So we're having this particular radar product is not picking it up very well, but we'll continue to watch that. I do want to mention that storm that we were watching out here into portions of Henry County, Illinois now. This was that Mercer County storm. I can tell you this, my concerns at this point for even broad circulation are pretty much over. It looks like right now what we've got happening is this is more of an outflow wind rather. So as the storm is growing, that hail and rain's falling out of the storm. You got the wind kind of gushing out of the storm. Might get some gusty winds, not seeing anything that would signify damaging winds, but you got that pushing out from the storm, not really seeing that that couplet that we were seeing that maybe something was spinning. So that's good news. That's really good news. But we still continue with that hail threat and also potential maybe for some damaging winds. But that storm is certainly kind of quieting down a little bit. And really, I think at this point, that is the most significant storm we have. We have a couple other strong storms, and I think right now what it's going to be is kind of a wait and see on the storm in the southern part of our viewing area in Lee County, Iowa. That does look like it might approach Des Moines County, so we have to watch that very closely. I think that is what we're going to keep a very close eye on here over the next several minutes as that continues to track east-northeast, kind of towards the Burlington area and towards at least southern parts of Des Moines County.
Yeah, and if we take a look at the whole area and go even a little bit farther southwest of that Lee, Iowa storm, more storms there, and they're on heading toward southeast Iowa, and you can see all that build up in northeastern Missouri. Numerous, as you can see, severe thunderstorm warnings, even some with perhaps a tornado possible. But again, this is all moving north. It will eventually turn, but again, I think we're forming our cold front here, and that's what's going to start sweeping everything to the east. But along that, what we have to keep an eye on, especially, this storm here that's approaching Lee County, that thing is just not quitting, and that is an impressive hail core. As we keep the Teresa view on the whole area now as we widen out to the north as well. You can see that we do have scattered showers and thunderstorms north of Interstate 80. Heaviest now getting into northwestern Scott County. A little hail there. Otherwise, we're looking at Cedar County, some showers, and Jackson County, some showers. Still working the storms out of this warning box here that's mainly for southeastern Whiteside County, and then of course our southern Henry County storm. That hail just continues to stay where it is, and it's moving due east. Right now around Woodhull, where we've already had hail video come from, we've got that hail core starting to diminish a little bit in scope, but as it moves east toward Kewanee and lines up with Highway 34, Bishop Hill, Galva, heads up that you've got that hail coming your way, and that hail core, as we've seen all night long, might start to get a little bit stronger again. So again, this severe thunderstorm warning here for southern Henry County. Let's say that's still 9:45, and that we can get rid of this portion here in Mercer County. You're out of that. That storm's pretty much gone from you, so no more worries there, at least for the time being. And again, scattering of thunderstorms with some of the ingredients that come later in the evening still to come. But if we can get this line that extends into southeastern Iowa, out of here and past our counties, especially Knox County, our southern counties, then we're getting to be in a much better position to get rid of the severe weather threat, which at this point, it's 8:55, so probably toward 10 o'clock. It's in time for a newscast at 10, because again, even right now, the most concerning thing is what do we do with this storm here, because it's got a motion that's going to take it back into our southern viewing area, south of Highway 34. So that's the one we're going to keep an eye on, and it sticks out like a sore thumb because you've got that hail core right there. And when we get to those purple colors, we're talking about perhaps tennis ball size hail, if not higher, at least that potential. And if you're in Donaldson, you need to take cover. That's coming your way, and that's going to move toward Fort Madison as well. Kyle?
Yeah, so with this particular storm, as this is our main focus right now, I've got a path on it. It continues on a track 35 to 40 miles an hour, but look at with its current path and course, this is where it's going to take it, and it does on the kind of on the outside part of this cone, does take it into Burlington. So times of arrivals here, Donaldson 8:58, right about the top of the hour here, West Point 9:10, Fort Madison 9:20, Dallas City 9:30, and then or just past 9:30, and then Burlington getting close to 9:40, 9:45. So that is if it continues on its current path and course, and of course strength as well. The only saving grace I could see with this is if we try to get another cell merger out here, like we did with that storm that's moving through Henry County now. They merged, they weaken a little bit. Could certainly strengthen because here's the deal. I'm going to look at temperatures again. 76 Macomb. It's 48 in Moline. It's 46 in Davenport, 76 in Peoria. You've got untapped energy. You got a lot of energy down here. And you got a lot of moisture and a lot of heat to keep these storms sustained. Also looking at, again, still another area. The southern tier of our viewing area is where the concerns are continuing for hail and maybe tornadoes. So we got to watch this storm. Mediapolis, a little gray starting to show there, and might be seeing something kind of trying to strengthen there, but nothing too concerning there. But if you're in Mediapolis, you're probably going to get some lightning here momentarily and maybe some small hail. But Route 61 corridor from Fort Madison up towards Burlington, heads up, this tornadic storm is getting ready to move in, and hail core holds on strong and even kind of taking a little bit more of a northeasterly turn. You see that, Eric? It's now trying to jet a little bit more northeast as it merges with that southwest cell. So that might bring it close to the Burlington area. And of course, we've got our part of our camera network. We've got a camera in Burlington. We'll be watching that very closely as that storm approaches. Yeah,
and you know, as we look a little bit farther to the south and west on my frame here, what you're going to see, I'll step out of the frame, tell me when I can get in, but if you look into northeastern Missouri, yeah, you see that push from the south and west, and that's, well, we can go back a little bit closer to where we were to, right about there, yeah. You see that little push from the south and west from that cell there. And again, you do have that northeast trajectory on the upper side of the warning box itself, and the hail core already getting out of that particular warning box, at least for the tornado warning. So as we move this ahead in time, again, as we've been talking about, southern Des Moines County, Iowa, south of Burlington, Fort Madison, it looks like it's going to be really right between Fort Madison and Burlington. And then as that continues to cross the river, here comes Henderson and Warren County, once again involved in a potential severe thunderstorm warning with tornado possible, at least some strong hail. So again, that's what we'll be looking at over about the next hour. So by the way, speaking about the hour, it's practically the top of the hour. You're watching live storm coverage right here on KWQC TV6, Davenport, Iowa. Back to the maps we go, and again, our southern counties. You know, a lot of people say, you know, go back to TV because it's just southern county. It's so far from the metro quad cities. Well, we've got population here that watches us, and this is officially our viewing area, so we have to track the storms. I mean, you know, on that note, it would be great if well, it'd never be great if a tornado or a storm occurred, but if it occurred and stayed in one place, we could say, hey, the storm's at 14th Street and North Avenue. And we'd be gone. But no, obviously, as you can see, the weather moves, and we need to keep people ahead of these storms warned. And that's why we're giving you the first alert. Southern Des Moines County, southern Henderson, southern Warren County. This storm is coming your way, and it looks like at this point, it's not showing any signs of weakening. And as Kyle has pointed out, it's getting into an environment that is very healthy for strong storms.
Yeah, we've got a new severe thunderstorm warning here. This does take it into just north of the metro, but
Oh,
it does
that
take
one
it,
caught up.
scout. It did, and it is expanding a little bit here. Hail core, get ready, Eldridge. You're gonna get maybe some quarter-sized hail with that. Winds not much of a factor here. Heavy rain, some lightning as well, but this does include Clinton, the Route 67 corridor there towards DeWitt. Cordova's included, Eldridge, up towards Walcott, maybe up towards certainly Maysville area, into the north here. So we're watching that. Again, hail's going to be the threat there. Maybe some gusty winds, but nothing too significant. Continue to notice that this cell here into Henry County does continue to show some weakening trends. Velocity just not anything to be too impressed with here. Some gusty winds at best. Hail's kind of shrinking. I would not be at all surprised if this warning that is in place for Henry County doesn't get canceled here before long. And that's a good thing. But this is also an area. I feel like we've had like 4 or 5 different cells move through Henry County into Bureau County. So they've had quite a bit, and that atmosphere is not as juicy as it is a little bit further to the southwest. But
Kind of where it all started out.
It is, exactly. That's where we saw the most significant. But look at oh my gosh, look at that. Wow. That is an impressive signature. This is east of the Farmington area. And I did see in the chat with the National Weather Service, somebody was reporting that there was a possible tornado. I don't know if that got confirmed here or not, but they were working to confirm that 218, the Route 218 corridor. We got a very prominent circulation here. When you see something like that, you almost could bet that there's something either close to it or on the ground. So we are so far away from our radar too that it gets hard to see the debris signature. But wow, very notable there. And I'm gonna put this in motion so we can get a good idea of how this is moving. And so I would say right now we've got a very dangerous tornado. And this is you know where this is gonna head towards Fort Madison. I mean, it is gonna be, I think, almost red line, center line towards Fort Madison. We do have some viewers down there, and so Fort Madison heads up about 9:30. This will be moving into town. So say about 9:20, you need to be in shelter. Might get as north as might get as north as Burlington. If it does so after 9:30, maybe 9:45, that'll be moving in. But very, very impressive signature here. I'd say we might have, just looking at this, heading right towards Donaldson. It looks like we have a pretty serious tornado close to being on the ground, if not on the ground here, moving through Lee County, Iowa at this time.
Okay, we go back to the storm that's just been warned north of the metro. Here we go for Clinton, Rock Island, Scott, Whiteside County till 9:45 for this warning. Again, a pretty typical severe thunderstorm warning, hail up to 1 inch in diameter. There's our hail core, which continues to try to hang on. Winds around 50 miles per hour. But again, this is, if we go in just a touch closer, this is going to be around Eldridge up toward Donahue and Parkview. You'll see that's good right there. Yep, we've got Eldridge there. Okay, so this is going to cross 61. There's the Wapsipinicon River. Then we get toward McCausland. We get along, there's DeWitt right there. We get along Highway 30 east of DeWitt, the Lake Malone area, Lowmore, down to Fallets here, and of course Comanche and Clinton at the end of that box. So this warning out till 9:45, and again, it's mainly because we are seeing that hail. Not very impressive versus the hail that we've seen earlier. And again, this storm is riding north of Interstate 80, so not in the best dynamics. But again, this will go till 9:45. So that's our current severe thunderstorm warning, at least for the northern half of the area. And if we pull back a little bit and show the rest of the northern half of the TV6 viewing area, that would be I-80 to the north. What you can see is that we've just got some scattered thunderstorms through portions of Jackson County, eastern Cedar County. You cross the river, we got, boy, just right through the southern slice there, southern third of Carroll County, and back north toward northern Jackson County. And then, of course, what happens south of that, we're looking at some more widespread rainfall with that warning that continues for southern Henry County. Still a pretty decent expanse of hail there. Dealing with our flash flooding in Bureau County, not to be aided by anything that's going to be moving through in the next hour, because once again, more widespread rain going right over those areas that have just been pounded today by torrential rainfall. And again, as we drop farther to the south, then we're still concerned about what could be clipping southern southern Des Moines County, south of Burlington, and then over the river to Illinois into southern Henderson and Warren County. And again, that hail core with all that lightning, very, very impressive. And if we can go over to the SRV, I want to see if we can see any signs of rotation. Clearly there is some rotation there. You see it. right under the DON in Donaldson. That's the rotation that has prompted this tornado warning. And this, as you can figure, is going to move right through the center of this box. At least that was the trajectory when the warning was issued. So again, this follows Highway 2. It'll eventually catch up with 61 in Fort Madison. A good couple of rail cams for train buffs like me in Fort Madison. Be interesting in about another 30 minutes to see what those look like. Getting some rain that you're likely seeing now, along with some lightning flashes. So right now, we're really keeping an eye on this one because this will strafe southern portions of the TV6 viewing area within about the next hour or so. 9:05 right now, and there you see it, 48 degrees in the Quad Cities on the bug on your screen, but we're looking at temperatures well into the 70s still that these southern storms are really feeding onto, and that translates into a very impressive hail core that's actually stretching out a little bit, kind of catching up with this first storm is the second one coming out of Memphis, Missouri, and moving on to the backside of that one. So again, maybe it pushes it a little farther north, and the movement of this storm is more like the top line of this polygon as opposed to the bottom line. So that takes it in again to areas of Des Moines County just south of Burlington, and then moves it south of Highway 34 into southern portions of Henderson and Warren County a little bit later in the 9 o'clock hour.
Okay, we've got reports here. I'm working on getting our cameras situated here in Burlington, but as I do that, I'm going to go back to radar because we've got reports. Okay, they're now saying a funnel cloud with this. So we've got it actually from our sister station from Quincy. We've got a spotter with them, and he's actually, I think, one of their meteorologists. He's in Nauvoo, and he can see a funnel cloud and wall cloud. With this, when they get lightning with this,
yeah,
there's quite a bit of it.
Lightning.
And I was just looking at the Burlington camera, which is located at the Catfish Bend Casino, trying to get bearings there so we can have the camera pointed at least in the direction of where this is. And there is a ton of lightning, and so certainly that's what's illuminating it. But Donaldson, you need to take shelter now if you're in that area. This could get, I firmly believe, Fort Madison. It's red line, center line heading towards you. That would then take it into the southern part of Henderson County, northern part of Hancock County, and then there we go. We're probably going to get a tornado warning eventually once that gets into that eastern part of Lee County extended. But watching to see if this banner changes here because they are reporting that large cone lowering. Spotter reporting tornado in Donaldson now, 9:05. Okay, so we've got a confirmed tornado now, evolving quickly, and that is in the Donaldson area. There you go. Observed tornado, just changed there. This is a tornado warning now, Donaldson. This is the 218 corridor, West Point to Fort Madison. This is not good. This is going to head right towards Fort Madison. We got a report of a large, okay, so what was that report here? Large wedge tornado possibly here with this as well. So this is a dangerous situation now for you folks in Donaldson, towards Charleston, heading towards the Route 61 corridor over towards Fort Madison. Again, lots of reports flying in there. Potentially a large wedge tornado on the ground. The signature would bode well with that too because we're seeing a pretty strong increase here in that rotation. Again, the velocity, this shows winds moving towards the radar with the green up here to the Quad Cities and red away. Eric, you have some new information too with this as well.
Yeah, check this out on the debris field around just west of Donaldson there. Looks like we could be seeing,
fanning. Yes, I can put
certainly
that up.
something, and that's far away from the radar.
Yeah,
so
let me put right. Yeah, look at that. And we saw this. Remember, it was the Fairfield, Iowa tornado. Yeah, you're catching that right there. It's this. What happens is we're far enough away from the radar, and the debris gets lofted up and fans out of the storm, and that is probably what we're seeing, unfortunately. But this is very concerning, and that signature is pretty clear there what we're seeing, and that is again not only confirmed reports, but we've got the winds again kind of tucking in here, tucking around. That's that kind of sink drain effect, if you will, when you get that motion going. And right now over top of Donaldson, unfortunately, we are getting reports that there is a potentially large wedge tornado, cone tornado that is on the ground moving through that area. Route 218 heading right towards Fort Madison. West Point, you're too close for comfort. I'd take shelter if you're in West Point. Anybody traveling on Route 61 here from Nauvoo, If you're in Nauvoo, all the way up towards the Burlington area, you're in danger here, as this is a confirmed tornado, and it's nighttime. This is not good. You don't want to be driving anywhere close to this storm, not only because of the tornado threat, but because we do continue with that hail threat as well. But very dangerous situation here. And right where that tornado and that circulation is, we also have very large hail still being indicated there. So very dangerous situation here. We want to give you the alert here to areas that this is going to be impacting. I'll put a time path on it. And I just want to check to see if the speed is still going the same speed. Okay, let's see here.
But yeah, you're absolutely right.
not really
The last thing we want to hear is large cone lowering.
Yeah, exactly.
Again,
it's
and
actually
that's
slowing
heading
down
right
a little
toward
bit.
Donaldson. Slowing down, okay.
Yeah, but it's down to 35 now, so it's been kind of oscillating between 35 and 45. So I'm gonna put a path on this, and let's right here, and I'm gonna put it. I'm gonna nudge it, kind of adjust it a little bit to the northeast, just because I want to get Burlington in. But Franklin 9:14, Fort Madison 9:30. You have just a few minutes. Let's say 9:15, just to give yourself some extra time. This is going to be moving into town. You need to take this very seriously. It's a dangerous situation. Again, the rules are lowest level, smallest room, center part of the house. If you don't have a basement, you want to get there now. You want to move quickly. Weaver, Dallas City, 9:45. Then eventually here, again, if it does move as far north of Burlington as the Burlington area, it would be in the Burlington area just before 10 o'clock. So we'll be watching that. But I would imagine here before long, as this continues to track off to the east, we will likely see the tornado warning extended to include parts of Des Moines County, certainly Henderson, maybe even as far east as Warren County. But again, very dangerous situation here. We're going to continue to work on getting some reports. Eric, I don't know if you saw anything more coming from the spotters out there.
I didn't see anything there, but let's go to our viewing area. We do have some additional things to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
Flash flood warning now in southern Henry County, and the heavy rain that we just had go through there is working its way out, but still some hail to be dealt with for perhaps folks in Kewanee. That's moving that way. So severe thunderstorm warning continues till 9:45, but this is a brand new flash flood warning for southern Henry County. As we come back out and go up to the warning a little bit north of the Metro Quad Cities, we'll get that in play. There we go. Still dealing with some hail now in northern Scott County, probably right around Parkview, getting toward Long Grove Lake. And this will continue to move to the east, heading up toward Princeton, Iowa. We're right about where you see the Highway 67 there. And then as you get over the Wapsipinicon up to Follett's right there, then on to some heavy rain perhaps as far north as Highway 30. And then this will cross the Mississippi River, getting itself into portions of Whiteside County. A little bit farther north of there, we do have a warning just outside the area north of Galena. We won't worry about that. There you can see it there. But again, for Carroll County, a few leftover showers and some lightning moving through. So, you know, as Kyle was saying moments ago, you want to be inside central part of the building that you're in, lowest level, and be away from windows, because not only we had a hail threat tonight, and we've certainly seen a lot of this, but the lightning strikes still numerous with almost all of these storms. Now we look farther to the west into east central Iowa, things starting to quiet down. That's a good sign, but again, we still have that activity south of Highway 34, and as we move the radar map up north and stay right about there, you can see how this is going to play out. We've got the storm, tornado warned storm, that's heading over Donaldson right now, kind of ending up between Fort Madison and Burlington. Let's keep it right where it was, because I wanted to go a little, stay as wide as we had it there. There you go. Maybe move it to the left a bit and watch how this storm is moving right here, a little bit on the upside toward the northern border of this warning box, and that puts areas south of Burlington and Des Moines County into play. That again, Henderson and Warren County. You're getting your alert right now that if this maintains its strength and rotation and is a tornadic storm, the next warning is going to include you. It might go just as far, based on the size of this warning here, might go about just as far as, say, the line between Henderson and Warren County, because at this slow movement, that's about 45 minutes to an hour. Look at the hail core. Coming down a little bit now, but that will probably cycle up once again, because look at what's happening here in Hancock and McDonough County. Nothing. So the warmth, the humidity that this storm is going to run into will likely produce a hail core that starts strengthening again after it here in the last few minutes weakens a little bit. So once again, boy, south of Burlington, get on the ready to take your shelter, and southern portions of Henderson and Warren County, and eventually perhaps southern Knox County need to be ready to take shelter.
Yeah, we got, looking at velocity here, still, this is a little muddled. We got some issues with it, but we still have a circulation now. It is heading a little bit more easterly now, so right towards Fort Madison, so continue with your tornado precautions. But we continue with that hail core too. So again, both indications that we have something brewing here, and we continue with that tornado warning, 2-inch in diameter sized hail, and again that tornado, observed tornado, that's why that bar turns pink when we get those reports, just southwest of West Point, heading right towards Fort Madison. Once again, we'll put some times of arrival on for you here. We make sure we've got the right speed on that, because again, that speed has been fluctuating here, and that's a sign that this, the storms that plan on that warm front kind of do their own thing, where they're not really propelled by a front or anything else. They just kind of go, and it's kind of what we're seeing there. But here's some additional communities. These are also townships, just to kind of give you a reference point here where this is going to be. West Point at 9:17. Get ready. This is going to approach you and at least be close to you. I think the circulation will go just to your south. Denmark, Fort Madison, 9:30. So we're closing in on your time, Fort Madison. You need to be in your shelter now. Eventually, West Burlington, possibly, if it goes that far north. Lomax, 9:53, Lone Tree and Gladstone getting close to the top of the hour at 10 o'clock. So that is if it continues on its current path and course. But look at the update to this. That hail core is kind of elongating and expanding a little bit, which would signal that we have continuing strengthening going on. And again, as we mentioned, the temperatures, I'll keep reiterating, it's 70 in Burlington, 75 in Macomb. Adversely, it's 45 in Davenport. So very a good environment for these storms to continue to thrive. And I totally see, at least at this point, that as these continue off to the east and northeast here, we're likely going to get a tornado warning extended into parts of Des Moines County, Iowa, and definitely into Henderson County here before long if it continues its current path and course and intensity. So we continue to watch that. But they're continuing to hold on to that tagged, observed tag. So I would assume that we still have spotters on it. Been looking at our camera networks and not seeing anything right now. But again, it's nighttime. It's very hard to see. And so we've got an update there, continue to observe tornadoes. So with that update, that means that they still have somebody with eyes on it. And so we continue with that. That's probably at this point over Donaldson, if not just east of Donaldson, now already over Donaldson, heading right towards Fort Madison again. So we can't stress enough how serious it is and how you need to take shelter now. We also talked about something, Eric, that we've been mentioning here all day with the potential on the table for strong to violent tornadoes. You got to take these very seriously. So if you live in a mobile home community, you want to take shelter. If you're out in the eastern part of this warning, Fort Madison, for example, you have time, get to shelter right now. You do not want to ride this out in something that's not sturdy. Mobile homes certainly are not the place to be. In fact, for those who need a reminder, we saw last year with the EF2 tornado that hit Davenport, went right over Camping World and vaulted 25,000-pound campers into a cornfield. So these things can do wild things, and you don't want to be in that. You want to find substantial shelter and do it now. Basement is best. So continue to track this. Tornado warning continues here, Eric, until 9:45 for Lee County.
Yeah, and that's what we're tracking at this point, this southern storm, which still will get into an area of fairly good dynamics. Still very warm down here. It's got the humidity to work with. It's got the front, and as a matter of fact, to the north, we're now looking at kind of a lessening of activity. So this pretty much will be doing it for the evening portion of this severe weather event. Later tonight, there's a chance that some more showers and thunder showers come up from the south and east. Those might produce some wind. Not a huge severe threat there, but we can never rule out severe weather. But if you have been safely taking pictures or have some reports, this is the time that we'd love to get those so we can share those during our 10 o'clock newscast. But you can really kind of see the overall trend here. We've got what has been been the main line of storms now shooting off to the east, and with this now the cold front, as this is going to be pushing storms east and even southeast, at least in terms of more development to our south and west along that line as we see that move to the south and east. This will pretty much do it, but we still have to hang on to see where this storm tracks in our southern counties, and we're pretty confident that it will be doing that. And again, that's why we've been talking about southern Des Moines County, southern Henderson, Warren, and even a chance for southern Knox County to get on that storm. But to the north, we're dealing with a few flash flood warnings for Bureau County and Henry County. North of that, still that thunderstorm that's moving through northern Scott County, portions of Clinton County, going to jump the river, get into Whiteside County. And outside of that, really the trend overall to the north is we're seeing things start to wrap up, because again, this is going to be cutting off any more energy to these places. And as we go through the night, despite the fact that we might see some further development in these areas, nothing is really going to have the strength to be severe, especially north of the warm front, dark hours. Things will start settling down here. It's really just this line, and you can see it's starting to bow out a little bit south and southwest of Chicago for some stronger winds, and interesting structures here of these storms as they move off to the east. But back to our kind of pain in the neck here, it's this storm that could be producing a tornado. We've had reports of a large dropping, a cone dropping out of the clouds, and of course we've got the hail that we're dealing with too. But this warning is coming to its end as the storm is making its way toward the end of this warning by 9:45. So that's about 20 minutes. So within a short amount of time here, if this warning is to be extended, it will be likely getting into southern Des Moines County, south of Burlington, and then southern Henderson and Warren County. So we really have to let this one get through its life cycle in the TV6 viewing area before we can call it quits for the night and then get ready for our 10 o'clock news. But again, hopefully you've stayed safe. If you have gotten pictures, one of the really best ways to get those to us, so we might have those on the news at 10, is to go through our app. We have a very easy process to get your pictures sent to us through there. And if you do have any rainfall reports, maybe throw those on our Facebook page. Any other reports or pictures of damage, we certainly can take those on the Facebook page. Not necessarily that we can share them, but at least that helps us build the story of the evening of what's gone through, especially south of I-80. That's where our strongest storms have been. And we just continue to wait and see what this one's doing. By the way, this looks like that hail core, yeah, right into Fort Madison and then off to the east. As a matter of fact, the warning itself ends on 61 just north of Fort Madison, because there you can see the rest of 61 as it heads up to Burlington. So kind of at the end of the bypass there is where that warning ends, but then it's likely to be extended if this hail core doesn't fall apart. It's still weakening now, but if we see even a little bit of an uptick, then that storm warning will likely be extended, a new one issued as it extends itself to the east for southern portions of our viewing area, about as far south as you can get, really, south in Iowa, southern Des Moines County, and then southern portions of Henderson and Warren County in the progress of this storm.
Yeah, we continue with this. They're going to continue with this tornado warning, and all indications, it's holding on. That circulation holding on strong, so pretty evident here. And this is one thing to note too, folks. When we're closer to the radar site, which is in the Quad Cities, we're closer to the ground, and that's where that circulation is really at its peak. And so this is really pointed up a little bit further up than what we would like. And when we see that circulation so evident, that's a sign that, we have something serious to watch for. And we continue with an observed tornado here as it does get closer and closer. It might, if it's on its current track, I think here, it might go just north of Fort Madison. So it might cut the difference here between the Denmark area of Fort Madison. Nonetheless, if you're in Fort Madison, you're too close. Take shelter and continue to take shelter, but certainly going to be the 61 corridor here. Hopefully nobody's traveling. If you know anybody traveling between, say, Burlington and Fort Madison, tell them to shut it down, get off. They don't have much time. Maybe you got to find a place now because you do not want to drive in this. That will cross over 61. And again, we continue with a confirmed tornado with this as it continues to head towards Fort Madison. And then again, eventually southern Des Moines County, Iowa, and then also here we have Henderson County, Illinois. So that'll be crossing into that area as well. So we'll be watching that very closely. The hail core is shrinking a little bit, but I believe we're still holding on to that tornado threat here.
Well, you know,
we'll
and
take a
Kyle,
look.
that's one thing that I have to point out, and you're absolutely right about that. Where it looks like the hail core is shrinking, that's one of the great things about Doppler radar. I mean, we can get
Absolutely.
into the storm, and as Kyle's been showing, it still has some pretty decent rotation. I mean, notable rotation, and that's what we always like to say about the radar system of modern day. You know, we used to shoot a beam of radar out back in, prior to the 80s, and we knew there was a birthday cake there. Now we shoot it and we see how many layers of cake are in there, what color that cake is, if it was white cake or chocolate cake, and we can really continue to monitor the storm. Looks like by the hail core, yeah, it might be weakening, but no, inside we can see that circulation. And just looking at what the Weather Service was messaging to us, they're staying with the warning. They're keeping an eye on this because the rotation does not seem to be weakening at this point. And if that's the case, then we can anticipate, as we've been talking about, an extension of the warning, actually a new warning that would take this into the southern portion of the TV6 viewing area. There you go with the details this warning currently for Lee County till 9:45. And again, we've had the threat of up to 2-inch hail. Core is kind of crumbling right now, but it could re-strengthen because this rotation within this storm is certainly not showing any signs of weakening. So that keeps it a strong storm that bears watching as it moves farther east. And yeah, that will just tag parts of the extreme southern portion of the TV6 viewing area.
Yeah, and I'm going to go back in here just a second. We're watching this circulation again. It's going to pop back up here momentarily. Do not worry behind me. But what we're noticing here is that circulation continues on. So we do have to watch in Fort Madison. I am going to show this here. This is what I wanted to show, and that is, once it pops up here, here you go. You can see that pink box there represents where we have that tornado warning that continues to show observed. And yes, we're getting spotter reports that there is still a confirmed tornado down there. But right now, active warnings, 2 flash flood warnings, Henry County, Bureau County, and then that severe thunderstorm warning between Clinton and the Quad Cities there for some hail. Also went up towards just north of the Galena area. But going back to radar here momentarily, let's jump over to that, and then we will show you that circulation once again down here towards Burlington and just southwest of Burlington. And again, yeah, still there. And we still continue with that observed tag. So we're watching that very closely, folks. I want to check to see if we've got any debris. Still that kind of interesting.
A little bit.
Yeah, there could be some debris there between Fort Madison and Donaldson. Again, Fort Madison, please be in shelter. So we want you to continue to take your tornado precautions. And again, this warning does hold on here for a little bit longer, and that circulation certainly holding on as well. But here what we are noticing, though, and this is going to be interesting for really talking about as this storm continues into Henderson County, Warren County, the Illinois side. If we get a lot of this activity to develop ahead of it, might actually kind of choke it off a little bit. That's great news. That's what we would want to happen, and it could kind of kill that tornado threat. In fact, actually, we just dropped that tag, so now we're down to radar indicated with this, which is good news. It means it's we don't have eyes on it, at least at this point, and it kind of goes with what we were saying, that hail core shrinking a little bit. The storm is expanding a little bit as well, and I think it's exactly what's happening is kind of getting undercut by this activity to the south. So if it doesn't have a way to get that fuel from the inflow from the southeast, it's going to start to weaken a little bit. I think we're starting to see signs of that happen. And this is what the models were showing. Eventually, and I think that eventually might be happening now, we were going to start to see the activity kind of expand and become elevated, which means not severe. You could get still some hail and gusty winds, but that's about it for this. So we might be seeing a kind of a good sign here, Eric, and while we say that, there's also a storm developing once again in southern Henry County, Iowa. Nothing severe there yet, but we'll watch that. But does show some good signs here that this is actually weakening a little bit as it now moves into the Burlington area and towards Henderson County. So hopefully that's the trend here for the next several minutes, and we can get this warning canceled.
Yeah, okay, let's take a look up north. We'll go to our severe thunderstorm warning, again, that is for areas just north of the metro. We'll track that now and take a look at where things are as far as how that storm is evolving. And it looks like certainly it's weakening a little bit. Hail core kind of right on top of the river, so it's hard to see if it's even there. I think there's still a little bit of gray there, so that's hail that's moving into essentially northern Rock Island County. There's Clinton, and there you can see as we work this storm up Interstate 88, it's kind of more like the the north side of Interstate 88 as that heads into northern portions of Whiteside County. So Morrison, your weather is going to deteriorate here pretty shortly. Showers over DeWitt, but again, this warning goes till 9:45. Pretty well timed out. I think by about 9:45 this should be out of the warning box. And because it looks to be weakening in terms of the fact that it's shrinking a little bit, probably not worried about any further warning on that particular storm. As we widen out again, take a look at the northern portion of the area. This is where things are really quieting down finally. Yeah, we do have some more storms, maybe areas of rain. That's all, just trying to form. We don't have lightning on, so if we were to put lightning on, we might see some lightning strokes with this. And again, trying to form here, but again, it's part of the anatomy of this whole system where we're probably not going to be seeing any more severe weather, especially much farther north of Highway 30. And so we continue to just track that storm that's off to our south. Metro Quad Cities has been dry for a while. We do still have some fairly heavy rain once again falling over. That's a flash flood warning that is out for Bureau County. That goes till midnight. The one for southern Henry County probably goes till close to midnight as well. And again, things have quieted down quite a bit in southern Henry County. And as we maybe move this to the right a little bit, we need time, 2 o'clock, because this was issued a little bit after that Bureau County flash flood warning. So this one will go to 2 o'clock, but again, things improving as the heaviest of the rain is working its way east. And again, as we widen things out, that's kind of the story. It's all right here with this very robust thunderstorm in southeast Iowa. Whether this one holds on, and it does look like the rotation has not weakened much, if any, and that's going to cross through southern portions of Des Moines County and Iowa, also head over towards southern Henderson and Warren County, and maybe if it holds on long enough, it gets itself into southern portions of Knox County. So we're just kind of waiting to see what the Weather Service will do.
Yeah.
Remember, not too long ago, the reason we had the warning here was because we had that report of a cone dropping from the cloud, a large cone dropping from the cloud. So it'll be interesting to see if there's any damage to report from that. And with the tornado warnings that we have had, perhaps the Weather Service gets out tomorrow and does some surveys. We don't have too many reports of any confirmed touchdowns or actual damage at this point, but certainly there could be something out there that they'll yet to find and survey. And again, so what we're waiting for, we'll take a look at what the Weather Service has to say about that southern storm.
Yeah, actually, they are noting that kind of what we've been talking about is that this is on a weakening trend, and what they're thinking here is if this continues, which it is showing signs of weakening and continuing to weaken, they're not going to issue a downstream warning here for parts of the Illinois viewing area here, which would be Henderson County. So that would be some good news. So we want to see maybe another scan or two before that call is made. But we did have several areas tonight, kind of to recap. We had several areas that we watched. We had circulating storms. One of them was certainly this storm that moved through the southern part of our viewing area. Henry County, Iowa, we have to watch there because we had some pretty significant circulation at one point. Several other areas, too, that we're probably going to see, as you mentioned, crews go out and check and see if we have any confirmed tornado damage. It was in parts of Henry County, Illinois, northern Knox County, Stark County, Bureau County. That looks like, just based off of some of the videos and pictures that folks have been sending in, it does look like we had a tornado at some point. And I want to say, too, we appreciate all you who have sent those things in. I know as we're getting them in, don't always have the time to say thank you, but we do appreciate it very much. And your viewership and also your participation in our coverage certainly helps, and we, again, appreciate that very much as it does help paint a picture of what's going on out there. So right now, the tornado warning, they're going to continue with it, but it is looking like it's on a weakening trend. I also want to mention too, Eric, is one thing I continue to hear is some extraordinary reports from Kankakee, Illinois, where it sounds like a very devastating tornado moved through. And so somebody said a state of emergency has been issued. Unconfirmed reports, a lot of reports coming in, but there was a storm that moved through that area, and it sounds like some devastation occurred there with that. So we're watching that. So I'm going to show, get an update here from the Weather Service. They just put out an update here. We are watching streaming webcam imagery from Fort Madison that while it has shown lower cloud bases in Scud, there has been anything defined in the last 5 to 10 minutes. With that being said, I'm assuming that they're going to let this ride out and we might not see that tornado warning extended, which would certainly be good news. But still, I would say if you're out into the southern half of Henderson County, Warren County. Heads up and just be weather aware here over the next hour or so because this storm has a history of producing tornadoes that were confirmed by trained weather spotters. So it's something to still watch.
Yeah, and we just want to pass on our appreciation for any reports or pictures that you might have sent in. Now, one thing that is a good thing is our crews were out ready to get storm damage, and so far we haven't really had any of our crews report anything too out of the ordinary, except for those videos and pictures of the hail that they sent earlier. So that's a good thing. I almost think we're extra blessed here in the Quad Cities area because it seems like we get through a lot of these severe weather events having missed things maybe just outside the viewing area. And if this were to be the case where this storm is getting weak enough to the point where the Weather Service doesn't extend any kind of warning throughout our viewing area, that's pretty much going to do it. Although we will be here throughout the 10 o'clock hour and even after, because we'll have our newscast coming up if no further warning is issued with this storm. So we'll still be here to let you know if a new warning is issued and what the weather situation is doing, if perhaps it should perk up again. But at this point, I think we've kind of run our course, and it's just kind of a waiting game to see at 9:45 or prior to 9:45 if this warning gets extended or is allowed to be canceled. And again, we are still one foot into the zone here of concern, and that's just the flash flooding that we have thanks to those very torrential supercell storms that move through not only Bureau but also Henry County. So we'll keep an eye on these areas. If you have any flooding to report, you can get on our Facebook page, let us know about that, and for the time being we'll keep an eye on that storm off to the south. Kyle?
Yeah, so a couple things to show here. I got the regional radar up, and this storm right here that's moving, about to cross into Michigan, that's the storm, that's the cell that produced that long track. What we're learning is probably a devastating tornado. We got a new severe thunderstorm warning we'll get to in a minute. But that is the one that went through Kankakee. That first band of activity that moved through Bureau County, Henry County is now kind of a bow echo moving into eastern parts of Illinois. We do have one still strong cell in Bureau County we're watching there. That activity into southeastern parts of Iowa and the southern part of our viewing area, but look what's off to the northwest. That's snow, and there's a chance that maybe some of our areas tonight, some areas in our viewing area might actually get some snow. So only in the QCA, right, that we could see something like that, where we're talking about tornadoes 1 minute and snow the next, but they did extend that severe thunderstorm warning. Not a tornado warning, but that is now encompassing just south of Burlington here, including Henderson County. It is marked tornado possible, so I think that's kind of the trade-off here. Instead of going tornado warning, they're seeing that weakening. They're going to go tornado possible, severe thunderstorm warning. And again, that includes Stronghurst, up to just south Burlington is included in that. So that's the area where that is tracking and continues to track off to the east.
Yeah, so what we're going to do, we're going to make a decision here in a moment to either go at 10 o'clock with our newscast, which we probably will. This warning itself, as you can see, goes till 10:30, tornado possible. At 10 o'clock, if we go to news, believe me, I will still be tracking this storm as it works its way farther east into southern, as you can see, Des Moines County, and also southern portions of Henderson County, south of Highway 34. And it does include La Harpe there in northern Hancock County. But again, we're still a little concerned about this because it's been showing some rotation. Well, it's got the hail and tornado
warning for Bureau County here and northern Putnam County.
Okay.
Just look at this, caught us off guard here.
Yeah, okay, well, let's go to that one.
Let's go to this.
Teresa.
So, yeah, we're going to be
Teresa just panned for me, and we'll go to that warning up to Bureau County. We'll
yeah,
continue to watch that.
That's the circulation east of Tisquoia.
Here you go. Yep. Let's zoom in on that as we go. Tornado warning here. Yes, and this will probably go till about 10:30 as well, if not later. But there you go, 10:30 for Bureau County. And as we go to velocity, Teresa, we can see where the circulation is. See, yeah, I mean, again, this is kind of on the southern edge, and there you can see it right there. A little interesting form there, but nonetheless, we've got air going toward the radar site, away from the radar site, so that puts your circulation right there. And again, this will be moving its way probably out of Bureau County pretty quickly, maybe about halfway through this morning, if not sooner. But again, one of these things where we've got this storm, nothing going on to its south, so it ran into a little area where it picked up some energy, got a little spin, and that's why we've got the rotation. So if you are in Bureau County, this little southeast corner here, well south of Princeton, you need to take shelter right now. That's a new tornado warning.
Yeah, and this is going to be for really focused on Bureau Junction. So Bureau Junction right here. Hennepin's over here as well. So folks know where Hennepin is, Bureau Junction area, southeastern Bureau County, up towards possibly getting as far north as the Depew area as well. So that warning does take it into Spring Valley and Depew. So you're under that tornado warning now. Again, I-80 corridor right here. Spring Valley's included, Depew's included, Granville, Hennepin, tornado warning for you. That circulation's actually increasing a little bit. You saw that scan there. Bureau Junction, it's going to hit Bureau Junction here momentarily. I'll get a path on that because we've got to see how fast this thing's going. So we're moving right now. It's east at 35. So east at 35 right now. I'll get a path on this and get the folks down here into Bureau County some time to get to shelter here and give you kind of an idea of when we expect this to move into town. So Depew Elementary School, Depew 9:45, so you got about 4 minutes. You need to take shelter now. The Ottville area 9:47, Mark and Granville area are talking about 9:50. Spring Valley about 9:53. This tornadic storm will be moving into town. Delzell 9:55. Then it's into LaSalle, Peru here about 9:50, 9:55. Close to the top of the hour, 10 o'clock then. Once we get to LaSalle, Peru, that area will be impacted here as we approach 10 o'clock. So right now what we're seeing here is a notable circulation starting to really form here. So here's Bureau Junction. Just southwest. It is going to move right over top of Bureau Junction at this time. I'm going to broaden things out a little bit. Tisqua, you're included under this warning, but I will tell you that the concern is not really for you. It's just to your east. So if you're in Tisqua, you're fine. You don't need to be taking shelter. This is going to be to your east. Right now, it's about to cross the I-180 corridor here. So where I-180 takes an easterly turn towards Hennepin, that's where that circulation is moving over right now. So kind of down that easterly track of I-180 there towards Hennepin, red line, center line towards Hennepin. So Hennepin, you folks should be taking shelter now. But Bureau Junction, Hennepin, maybe as far north as Depew and Spring Valley, you are included in that tornado warning. You need to take tornado precautions right now. But I will say, the way I'm looking at it here, if it continues kind of east-southeasterly, or east-northeasterly rather, it's going to move more into the heart of Putnam County versus that extent of Bureau County there. But still, you're close to it. I would take your tornado precautions nonetheless, but it is increasing in intensity a little bit there. So right now, Hennepin, Bureau Junction, shelter now. You have a tornado warning here until 10:30, but the way this actually appears like it's picking up some speed here, and so I believe that this might be out of Bureau County and Putnam County here before, might even be before 10 o'clock. So we'll see how fast that moves, but nonetheless, we continue with that tornado warning. 10:30, Bureau and Putnam counties here with a real threat for the Bureau Junction, Depew, and Spring Valley areas.
Okay, yes, and we will be, there we go. We will be watching that circulation, which is right down here. And as it moves farther east, it might even be south of this part of the Bureau County border. So what we're anticipating is going on with our newscast at 10 o'clock. Of course, we've got a lot of weather to talk about, but we will continue to update you if this warning continues, if there's any sort of circulation in this portion of Bureau County, which, as Kyle was just pointing out with the rotation, looks like that could slip south and not be an issue. And then because we have a severe thunderstorm warning down in our south, we will just continue to update you on that throughout the newscast. But again, at this point, till 10:30, we've got this tornado warning. That includes Bureau County. Until 10:30, we've got the severe thunderstorm warning with a possible tornado. We've been talking about this one a while. Here it is moving its way east into southern portions of Des Moines County, south of Burlington. And there, as you can see, based on the box there, extreme southwest and south central portions of Hancock County. Henderson County. And so these are storms that we'll track. You see that hail core just keeps shrinking, but there's probably still, if we can go to a velocity, Teresa, find a little bit of circulation still right over the top of the river there. And it's, again, yeah, there's not much to see, but it is there. You see that little pocket of kind of a gray trying to be red, and here the bright green, that's going toward the radar site, that's going away from the radar site. So maybe a little bit of spin right on top of the river there. as we get north of Fort Madison, about halfway between Burlington and Fort Madison. So again, we'll continue to watch this. It's not officially a tornado warning. It's a severe thunderstorm warning with tornado possible and that hail threat. So we'll keep an eye on this. We'll also keep an eye on that Bureau County rotation. And as we go back out to just regular radar and show the whole area as we zoom on out, you can see that we still have a little bit of active weather off to the north, some more isolated thunderstorms here, but nothing severe until we still have this, what's left of this warning. But as you can see, the storm that's warned here for portions of western Whiteside County, maybe that northern tip of Rock Island County, just north of the metro, that storm is working its way out and doesn't appear to be too much in terms of any hail to be concerned with from those storms there. So one thing that Kyle has been touching on is to our east, we've got these stronger storms, and there's probably a lot of news to come out of especially southern Chicagoland in terms of some perhaps devastating tornadoes they've had there. But for the time being, we've just lost our warning up in northern Rock Island County, so it's this tornado warning here and this severe thunderstorm tornado possible warning that we're watching right now.
Well,
Kyle?
yeah, this is actually pretty somewhat impressive here.
Yeah, it is.
And so I am concerned about this, and it is favoring right along the Illinois River, essentially, is where it's riding, which is the county border here. So it is going to bring it into Depew and Spring Valley, I think, with this latest scan. So if you're in Depew, Spring Valley, even up towards Hollowayville, Seatonville, Dalzell, you folks need to take your tornado precautions now. The warning is right about to Route 6 here. So here's Ladd, so Ladd to Spring Valley. So essentially from I-80 down through Spring Valley, off towards the Bureau-LaSalle County border. The circulation right now, just north of Hennepin, probably moved maybe on the north side of town there. Hennepin's a small town, but just north of I-180 there's I-180 there. That's where it's at. Moved right over top of Bureau Junction, now heading towards Depew and Spring Valley, and eventually possibly as well Dalzell, and yeah, continuing on. That's pretty strong. I want to check to see if we got debris with that, because out of our circulations within our viewing area, no debris being indicated, which is good, but out of the circulations that we've seen in our viewing area, one of the stronger ones, I would say, and this now gets over into the Chicagoland area, which does show that a little bit more broad rotation when we look at that radar, but the Quad Cities is a little closer here. So I'll zoom in a little bit too, because we can get some street level mapping now that we've got a good pin on this location of the circulation. And you can see right now, and they just kind of narrowed that warning down a little bit here. So Depew, there's Depew. That circulation's right over top of you in Depew, maybe just to your south, but heading towards Spring Valley. Spring Valley's over here. So that is heading right towards Spring Valley at this time, I'd say in the next couple minutes. I do believe, though, with the speed increasing with this is going to be out of our viewing area by the time we get to 10 o'clock at the latest. But definitely a concerning signature there nonetheless. And again, I want to reiterate, Depew, Spring Valley, Dalzell, shelter now if you're in that area.
All right, we take a wide look once again, and we are dealing with two areas of concern, and it still includes what we were just talking about there with Kyle toward extreme southeast Bureau County. But you know, it's in our viewing area technically, and that rotation is right there. So we're going to keep an eye on that. Let's go back out to where we were, T, and we'll show you that second warning that we've been watching or tracking as we have gone through the last hour or so, even longer. It's this storm right here that's south of Burlington and moving into now southern, as you can see, just south of Burlington, getting some pretty good rainfall, and there's that hail core, but also moving into southern Henderson County. This warning goes till 10:30. Severe thunderstorm warning, tornado possible, and again, the hail core has collapsed quite a bit. That might regenerate itself as it moves a little farther east, but again, if we take a look then at the rotation with the velocity, which shows us the velocity of how things are moving. That's what velocity tells us, is where things are moving and how they're moving, and again, that signal just gets weaker and weaker. Maybe we can zoom in a little bit. I'll try to find something to mention here. That's good. And it again, you've got some bright green here. That's air going toward the radar site. You've got what's left of some air going away from the radar site here. So again, this is why they didn't extend this as a tornado warning. This is a severe thunderstorm warning, mainly because of that threat of hail and a little bit of circulation, which really looks like it's falling apart and fading fast. That will pass just south of Burlington. When the lightning lights up the sky, you might notice the interesting cloud base, but at this point, that's about all that's going on for that. So that warning continues till 10:30. Also, our tornado warning for extreme southeast Bureau County, that continues until 10:30 as well.
I want to be, so that they're mentioning this and calling this a pretty concerning situation. They think that tornado possibility is pretty high with this, and here's why. We got that area of circulation that continues. It is pretty much over top of the Illinois River, but heading right into Spring Valley. So Spring Valley, you need to be taking shelter now. The National Weather Service is very concerned about this just because of the location of it. It does put it in a favorable area, and it's a little detached from the rest of the storm, so it doesn't have a lot to kind of muddle it. And so what we're going to see with that here is I think it's going to continue on to the northeast. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a new tornado warning into LaSalle County. But right now, Spring Valley, Dalzell, shelter now. Take this seriously because there is a lot of concern with this that we could have a tornado either in progress or developing pretty rapidly here right over top of the Illinois River as it moves into Spring Valley. So concerns there certainly continue as it eventually moves off into LaSalle County here.
Yeah, and it's moving fairly fast.
Yeah,
so as you look at that view right there, you can see that it's going to be out of even contact with Bureau County pretty soon here, probably up to around 10 o'clock or so. We're going to try and start a newscast at 10, depending on how that plays out. Might be a little delayed, but we'll get in as much news for you as we possibly can. Obviously tonight, the biggest issue has been the severe thunderstorms and the isolated tornado warnings that we've been having tonight, especially south of Interstate 80. I'm getting word that we need to go to a break. I'm not really clear on what that actually means, but because we're still in live coverage
we'll
here.
stay with the tornado warning
Yeah,
for
because
now.
we have a tornado warning, so we're gonna push everything to at least 10 o'clock, and we're gonna monitor this storm here because I know, folks, it's a sliver. It's about as small a sliver of our viewing area as we can get, but we've got viewers there, so we're there for them just as much as we're here for you in the big old QC. So until that threat leaves the area, we're staying on, and we can probably just go ahead and zoom right into that one, Teresa, and go with velocity. So we're both concentrating on that storm and checking in with the Weather Service about our other storm. But again, let's turn that over to velocity so we can keep an eye on that circulation. Yeah, there you go. And it looks like, again, toward Peru, maybe on the top end of this circulation here, we've got this possible tornado, as Kyle just mentioned, Spring Valley, and then over toward LaSalle. So this is it here. This is the end of the warning box, and that's outside of Bureau County. So once this spin works its way off to the east here, then we're likely done with our wall-to-wall coverage, but we'll be checking back in, of course, with the Weather Service through the 10 o'clock news and taking a look at that southern storm as well, because not everybody is completely out of the woods. And again, these are the storms we're watching: southeast Iowa, west central Illinois, and also Bureau County right there.
Yeah, and the circulation, wow, it's moving. Gosh, it's moving so fast.
Yeah, it really is.
It is now. I was just looking at this, though, because I'm concerned that it went right over top of Spring Valley. I don't know if we can come back out here, but here you go. You can see this is you got the winds, the red, the green there. Here's Spring Valley. That circulation went right over top of town. So, but the good news is with this latest scan is, good news for Bureau County, not great news for LaSalle County. But right now, circulation maybe just outside of Dalzell, but close to Dalzell there. And of course, here's Peru, LaSalle, right over here. So now about to cross over into LaSalle County. I would assume here in the next couple minutes, we're going to see them cancel that tornado warning as that circulation. That storm really booked it and really increased its speed here as it continued to. Oh, I'll get to that in a minute. As it continued to move off to the east. So right now the concern is Dalzell into LaSalle, Peru for that circulation. We continue with that tornado warning, but again, my concerns are less for Bureau County, more for LaSalle County as that continues on. And of course, LaSalle County is outside of our viewing area, but did get a report just now as we were talking at the weather station in Burlington here of a gust up to 60 miles an hour. So confirming that severe thunderstorm level, 60-mile-an-hour winds. They're still going tornado possible. That rotation is incredibly weak. I'm not really seeing much of anything. So we continue with that damaging wind potential. And we can go to Burlington, actually. Yeah, that'd be great if we could take that shot.
Take a look.
And see what we've got going on there, because we've got some gusty winds and maybe even up to level we consider to be damaging winds. So we'll take a look at that in a moment. And you guys could just pop it up once we get there. But that continues off to the east. That severe thunderstorm warning continues until 10:30 for Des Moines, Henderson, and Lee counties. This is Lee County, Iowa, remember. That continues on, but we can see there, yeah, it's pretty messy out there, and you can see that right now. A lot of lightning, too, so lightning is certainly a hazard to be concerned with, but right now, I think our threat is kind of winding down a little bit here. We still have storms that we're watching, but that tornado warning back into Bureau County, that circulation here, couple areas that we're watching, it is weakening. So the activity's now really into still some stuff here, I would say southeast of Hollowayville, a little area of rotation, but that area that was more concerning, that was riding the Illinois River, is weakened a little bit and is now into LaSalle County. So again, I would assume here, probably a couple minutes, we will probably see this tornado warning dropped. But for the next few minutes, Spring Valley, Dalzell, in southeastern portions of Bureau County, continue with your tornado precautions.
All right, here's a look at the reflectivity, or the rain that's coming down with that system. And you see that the back edge pretty progressive. This is starting to move farther away, but still, as Kyle was pointing out, we do have that little area of circulation, although it's becoming a little bit more muddled to see. But I do want to reiterate that we have these flash flood warnings. We've got this one for Bureau County. Boy, right along Interstate 80 and south, including Princeton proper, and then back to the west, Henry County, Illinois, under a flash flood warning as well. Now this one goes till midnight, the Bureau County flash flood warning. The flash flood warning for Henry County, that was issued a little bit later, so that goes till 2 a.m. And as you can see, we're not really dealing with much more than maybe a few spits and sprinkles at this point. But as we come back out off to the north, we're still getting a few scattered thunderstorms across the area. Nothing here has been severe in quite some time, and we don't really anticipate any further severe weather up there. And if a severe thunderstorm comes out, we'll let you know. But again, for the time being, really within the last or next few minutes, our only real threat would be that rotation that we have in extreme southeastern Bureau County, and that storm is about to move out of the area. As Kyle pointed out a little bit ago, the severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible off towards southeast Iowa. That one's kind of winding down in terms of circulation. Still a storm, though, as we let's take a look at that as we go down toward Burlington, not here, but Burlington in Iowa, of course, and take a look at that storm, which is still holding that to severe thunderstorm warning with tornado possible. And there you see it right there off to the south. Those storms are still going, but again, that's good for us because anything farther to the south is starting to cut off some of the energy and the moisture for this storm. You can see it's getting a lot less defined, so that one looks to be collapsing as well. But again, until 10:30, unless it's canceled earlier, which I certainly could be, that one is gone. What do we have for Bureau now?
Canceled.
Canceled.
Cancel,
Okay.
tornado.
All right. Well, that gives us a few minutes here, but we will start our 10 o'clock newscast. Control room, I'll let you tell me if I just throw it now or to break now, or do we just work our way up to 10 o'clock? This is exciting TV, I know. I'll do this though. What's that? 3 minutes and I can toss. So we're going to talk for 3 more minutes. Okay.
Okay.
Well, I will say this, as long as we're close and within the time frame. It is KWQC TV6 in Davenport, Iowa. We're about to wrap up our live storm coverage, and that is a good thing. So we can take it to break now.
Yep, we can take a break. So we appreciate everybody for sticking with us here.
And if you have any pictures or any stories, please let us know via social media or send those pictures to us through the KWQC News app. Thanks for watching. T. I gotta move you so I can get the show.
media.com/careers and search for current openings. KWQC is an equal opportunity employer and wants to help you launch your broadcasting career. Apply today at graymedia.com/careers. Last minute grocery run for dinner? We always have what you need on the KWQC streaming app. Download it for free on your smart TV to get your news and weather at any time.
With your hands up!
Hello, mic check 1 2. I've got you. Do you have me? Hello, mic check 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. I'll even count to 10 for you today.
Media's newest omni-channel solution, where streaming TV, display and video ads, audio, even gaming, all work together in perfect unison. Our marketing experts know how to get